The usual half hour of shooting the shit.
Yes, Papa.
Yeah, you gotta have that. Gotta have the shoot the shit time.
I'm just remembering. Well, now I'm just remembering Ohan, Amnon, when we were at the hag's place in hell with the darkness spell and the little goblins, little devils.
Oh man. All right. I feel like I'm missing something. Like I'm always forgetting to share something, but I think that's everything.
We all get inspiration. Is that what you forgot?
Not yet. Not yet.
We all wake up and it's just a bad dream.
And it was all a dream.
You know you'd be so mad if I actually pulled that.
And we've just been friendly.
Honestly, I probably laugh. I
the
think it's
entire
so
time.
funny.
It's like, actually, you're still Ravi.
It would be funnier if it was a dream and he wasn't Robbie and it was Bo, and it was like I dreamed I was a little werewolf boy for so long. I think I've got some unresolved relationship issues with Demetria and Debbie if that was how the dream started out.
Oh my goodness.
Just come
Yeah, so-
downstairs to the House of Spirits, be like, y'all will never believe the dream that I just had.
And you were there, and you were there. You weren't there for a big part of it, and you were there. When we were at Disneyland, me and Lex kept trying to figure out what Aramis and Ebony would do if they were at Disneyland. What their jobs would be. We decided that Ebony is in one of the big fursuits, and Aramis works the Jungle Cruise.
I learned a very harsh lesson at Disneyland the first time I went. Because my parents decided we should all wear matching shirts each day.
No.
They roasted the shit out of us, depending on the color we were wearing.
Kids at Disneyland did, or like from pictures later on? Like
The employees at Disneyland.
Oh my gosh!
like we went on Jungle Tour and we were all wearing orange shirts, and they're like, "All right, and if you look in the boat, we have a pumpkin patch."
Wow, that's fucked up.
That's very funny.
This is also, let's see, probably 14 years ago, so people are less soft. I don't think they'd probably do that today, but
Technically, I don't think they should have been doing that then because they're supposed to follow
They're
the
not.
script.
Yeah, they're like.
I don't know.
That guy couldn't help himself. That guy couldn't help himself. He's like, just this once. I
You
gotta
know how they're
ad-lib.
supposed to shoot the gun to scare off the hippo? So our tour guide was like, "Here, I know how to scare it off. I want to commit to a relationship."
They do that sometimes. That's what
I've heard that too.
I must be wanting to go to Disneyland because like recently I've been watching all the like YouTube videos on like the history of like I watched the one on the history of like all the different
Defunct Land, like Defunct Land.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Defunct Land.
I love Defunct Land. A
the-
powerful rat named Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna stay sober tonight. I'm only gonna do a little bit of drinking.
the fuck?
You know, because I
Join
can't.
me.
Look, that beer
Hey.
soured me right now, and like if I start cracking beers to try to like chase a good one,
I'm calling the police.
but look, I got a little
Who are
E-
you?
Jesus. Though. Look, I poured me a little E and J. I don't have any good yak, so I poured a little Jesus. So I'm either gonna be really upset in this, or I'm gonna be really happy. We'll see how it goes.
Alex, you know, if we were to go back over the history of playing this game and we just watch all the episodes, there was like I feel like Arrow, this was not the like there was like a slow creep of like I think every like 8 episodes you might have a drink, and now it's like where are the pictures? What am I?
Lex ain't been sober
Wait,
in
who,
like
me?
2 years.
Yeah.
Like,
You
No,
always
I
used to drink?
I started drinking. I was drinking when we first started, and then I had a very heavy night of drinking, and then I stopped drinking for like a
For
few
a while.
months.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I was like, or you know, I think it was maybe we didn't ever talk about it all as much as we did because it was always Sean was always like the big drinker for me. Like
always me.
there's
No, I was
a few
drinking.
there's a few games, Sean, where you're like fucking toasted. And, like,
There's
you're
a
like
few-
you're
Swan
not in the
diving,
game.
swan diving through the plane of air.
Yeah.
Swan diving through the
Also,
plane of air.
I think when we first started, I was still smoking weed, so I was probably
Yeah.
high instead of.
Oh,
Maybe that's it.
see?
Yeah.
And there's a few games where I'm like I've like rewatched at the end. I'm like, ooh, I'm getting there now. Like,
I'm always
almost
good.
gone.
It's that if I start to crossfade, that's when I'm out. Like that's
Yeah.
when like we're on like hour 3, and I'm just like,
yeah.
That's how
Remember
you
that
know.
there's been a couple episodes where you guys all went really hard at the beginning of the episode, and I'm like, this is a long episode tonight. We got like 3.5 hours, and everybody at the end was just like dead. And I'm like monologuing. Everybody's like, man, fuck this game.
We're out here like shots.
Yeah, it was like you guys started like I was like, what is going on tonight?
What's going on is we're enjoying each other's company,
Yes,
and Jameson
yes.
is doing what he does.
I don't judge you.
Drinking water and soda. Tonight it's water because I'm broke, so can't afford soda, so water.
Yay, water.
Oh shit.
Everyone drink water. Everyone
If you
following at home,
shake-
comment down your
If
favorite
Shake
brand of
water
water.
Everybody
really
drink
hard,
some
it kinda gets
water.
bubbles, right?
Drink some
Yeah, it's
water.
water
Let's all
out
drink
of
some
a-
water too.
Everyone
Thanks.
grab their hydro flasks.
Whoa,
Drink water.
drinking
Nice.
water. You
Stay
know,
hydrated. It's hot up
you
there.
are not alone, Jameson. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's out of a Taco Bell cup, which you can't see because it's clear.
Mhm.
And my computer can't render that I'm holding a cup right now.
So funny.
All right. We're gonna start the episode a little bit differently. We're gonna start in a different land, in a different time, and we see these two slender cockatrices, like big elongated like birds, mounted by figures, kind of galloping, riding them across a countryside. Toward a shrine that stands in the distance, and the temple it kind of sits against the sunset, this kind of picturesque setting surrounded by lush greenery and all these cherry blossom trees. And the structure, once these two arrive, is made of wood with the sloping roofs that are adorned in these like dark curved tiles. It's really graceful and kind of elegant. And then as the figures dismount and stand next to each other, we see that this is a slightly younger Tempe standing next to another character, another person named Kavoth. Tempe, can you describe Kavoth for us?
Quoth is like a
Kavoth? How would I say pronounce it?
quoth.
Quoth.
Like quote.
Quoth. Okay, then quoth.
He's a small, young, probably close to Robbie's age and size, but with fair skin and red hair.
Nice. Dressed similar to completely different from Tempe, right? Like doesn't wear like
Yeah, he's dressed in like a blue scarf and like blues and grays and stuff. He's sort of like sorcerer robes-esque kind of feel.
Not in a dim, not from your Tempe's culture.
Not from my culture at all, yeah.
And so Kavoth turns to Tempe and says, whatever happens, and grabs your hand. I thank you for teaching me. I thank you for your teachings. And every soul deserves to be able to enjoy music. Don't feel ashamed for that. How does Tempe respond? Or does he respond?
Tempe touches his forehead and then he overlaps his hands in front of him, sort of like this, as like a thanking him.
Nice.
And he kind of whispers, he kind of softly says thank you.
He nods. And so they walk this stone path that leads to this vibrant red toral, this entrance gate. And then as they go through the two double doors, they enter this temple that is spacious and open. And there are archways that probably have sliding doors that allow you, when they're open like they are now, they allow you to see the countryside around the shrine. And then like skylights as the light just kind of pours in, almost spotlighting where you would stand before whoever the head priests are. And there you see a group of 8 figures, but one at the center, and all of them appear to be, Tempe would know them to be high priests, all of them female. The one that steps forward is very fair, pale-skinned, Her hair is braided all the way down her back. She wears like a red cloaked garment, and she has a youthful appearance, but is mature, maybe mid-30s. And she says, and as Tempe kind of him and Kavoth approach, I imagine Tempe kind of crosses his feet, and Kavoth kind of like Quoth. I'm gonna keep, because it was spelled with a V when I read it. So Quoth does the same, and as they both sit there, she says, "Tempe, you stand trial today for your misdeeds, teaching the ways of the Catan to an outsider without expressed permission, and learning the ways of music which is forbidden to your station as a man. How do you plead? Guilty or innocent?"
He touches the top of his head and makes like a plus sign, like a cross almost, to signify that he's guilty.
And if you played this somewhere else in some other game, if this scene didn't happen this way, just imagine it's part of the Tiamat wish that changed the universe. This is the way, maybe one of the ways Tempe remembers it.
This was not played. This was not outside a game. This was not played. Tempe comes from a book.
Okay.
And a character, and this didn't happen in the book, but this is 1000% could have been how it went.
Got it. Okay. I didn't know if this was something
You're killing it right now. You're killing it right now for sure.
And so he gives that little cross. She's quiet. And then there's a moment as some of the other priests kind of, there's like, they make a sound. They don't talk, but they kind of, like there's a sigh of like disappointment in the room. And then because that silence starts to get too much, I imagine for Quoth. Quoth just kind of like wants to do something. Doesn't know what before she's about to speak, he kind of like jumps the bit. And he says, Tempe is a highly skilled warrior. He's a dedicated mentor. I must accept responsibility for the situation as I pressured him. I was deeply fascinated by the Adamic ways, and it was my eagerness that led to his actions. I can assure you that Tempe had no intentions of causing any harm. Please be lenient on him. And the priest, she sits back. This man lacks the necessary skills to effectively teach the Catan. He barely took the red himself. Quoth, is it? He nods. Stand now and show me your own demonstration of the Catan. And he seems to be on the spot. And he stands. And
Tempe
what
gets
would
up and stands back. He gets up and stands back and puts his head down.
is a demonstration of this? Is it similar to a kata or like a kind of a combined with a dance?
Exactly,
yeah.
right.
And so he starts to do these kind of different moves and positions, moves very artistically. It looks quite beautiful and quite strong. And when he's done, a few moments later, he bows. And as he performing, it's like almost, like I said, almost combat and dance at the same time. The priest, she gives a little smirk that I think only maybe Tempe sees, that shows that she might have been half impressed. And there's a moment, and then she says, quoth, I recognize your natural ability in displaying the Catan. However, if you were to employ this in actual battle, it would surely lead to your demise. Rest assured, we will assign you a suitable instructor, as you will remain here with us. And Tempe
smiles while he looks down.
He's like, Quoth seems to just kind of be confused, but like looking at you like he kind of wants this, and he's kind of has a smile, and then his smile turns into sadness and a frown as he hears her continue. As she says, Tempe, your lack of focus, your disregard for law and tradition troubles me. Your sloppy approach and practice will expose those who fight alongside you, making them vulnerable. There is no place for you here any longer. You are hereby banished. Gather your belongings and depart from this place. How does Tempe respond?
Tempe, he thanks them with his hands. He doesn't speak. He thanks them. And he looks to Quoth knowingly, saying that you're taken care of now. You'll get what you need. And hopefully we'll see each other again. And he says this with glances, with his eyes, because they've traveled together for quite some time, so they have an understanding, kind of like how Ravi and he did through the woods and shit. It's a very similar thing. And Tempe goes to leave. He goes to,
and you could tell Quoth looks like he wants to approach Tempe, but suddenly there are two, they're not quite guards, but they look like priests, but they look like they might have blades like hidden underneath. They stand with him, ushering him one way, to meet with you, ushering you towards the door. And we watch as they kind of like part, leaving out of that center area where they were like lit by the skylight, but then now they're lit by the path going separate ways. And when Tempe gets outside, Tempe is now standing there watching the sunset into darkness. And snapping out of that memory, Tempe now stands on the roof of the orphanage, and he's looking out over this ravaged Waterdeep and the darkness that has swallowed it. And Eldricon comes to mind, Lenore, Ravi, and then recently just how close he came to losing Demetria. And he can't help but this little voice in the back somewhere is saying, was the priest right? And he hears her voice again. Your sloppy approach and practices will expose those who fight alongside you, making them vulnerable. And then hearing her say he barely took the red. How does he respond to those intrusive thoughts?
I think he believes it. He believes that even after everything that he's been through hell, through all of this stuff, he believes that is the truth. He doesn't. That's gospel to him. He really believes that he is inept, that he is never going to be good enough, and that he will always jeopardize the people who are closest to him. And it has transpired that way since Quoth to Ravi to almost now Demetria, as he stands there looking over a place that he probably should have been helping to protect, but didn't.
Yeah. And I think the only other thing we notice is just, his suit doesn't really look like the red anymore because it's so caked in all that black. And we'll open tonight's session. Welcome back. Tonight's episode is titled Waterdeep Down. And I think where we pick up is back in the orphanage or on the rooftops of that orphanage. And I just wonder where Fizban is still resting, right? He passed out at the end of the last episode. He used all that power to cloak himself, to make himself look like Eldra Khan, and then he passed out. And you get the sense, you all, now that everything has transpired, because there's some things at the end of that last episode I described, like Waterdeep being torn apart and like the palace like lifting, but I didn't really describe it from you all's perspective. So there's been like that this is that moment after like an earthquake where you're like, this is the end of the world, and then when it all stopped, you're still alive, right? You're still there. You can hear the kids crying upstairs. Lady Talon is trying to calm them down. Fizban is still passed out. It's like while the whole thing was shaking and being torn apart, he's just like laying on the sofa in that little den. But all of you are fine. And while there's destruction in the streets, this district, this block, right up to where you are, didn't take any major damage. Stuff fell off there's been some cosmetic damage to maybe the roof, some of the shingles, some of the personal wares and things like that are broken and shattered inside the house. But you're all okay. You're all still extremely tired, beaten, worn. I'll turn it over to you to kind of help me further set where we might find your character in the orphanage, doing what. And I'll give it to you all.
I am fully just setting up my bedroll, put my shit down, and laying down my little snake pence, just laying on my chest as I'm just trying to go to sleep.
And then you hear thump, 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 and that's Amnon, and he runs and just jumps and gives Demetra a big hug because this is like the first chance they've had before since she last went.
Ow. Okay, Doc. Ow. Okay.
And then right as you're saying ow, I start looking at every like wound and try to like,
There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Sit down. And then I just start working, and then I turn over to Tempe. I'm like, Tempe, come here. Sit down. Let me take a look at you too. And I'm just busy.
Demetria's like watching Fizban sleep, like trying not to hover too freakishly, but pretty freakishly. Like she's sitting up like super straight, even as Amnon's like figuring out which one of her ribs is broken. Just in case he gets up, she wants to be sitting up straight when he wakes up. No slouching. No more slouching.
Demetria, as you're sitting there from behind the sofa, because I imagine you're trying to pay attention to Fizban, the shadow behind the couch, there's two little like ears moving, and then you see little Snatchel peek from behind the sofa.
I was going to ask where he was.
Is everything okay? One of the kids peering down from the goes, goblin! No, goblin, no, Snatchel no mean, Stabjin no goblin, he's green kid.
Snatchel's with us, right, Snatchel?
Yes, Snatchel with them. And the kid is like kind of quiet, so this Lady Talon comes and Snatchel. No, back to bed, and not really listening what the kid is screaming.
Wow, you can't just yell because one green guy shows up at your place. He's
not
just
everybody's
really
as
tiny
cultured as we are, Demetria. Not everybody knows, okay? How about you come over here and help me fix up the guys?
Snatchel says, ladies, Obaya told Snatchel to come to go to the teleport place. So I went, ta-da. Still here.
Glad to hear it. Demetria's gonna sort of like getting herself up, is gonna walk over to where Bo is laying down. What is he like, laying on his back? Is he like
just fully laying on his back, no blanket, nothing, just staring at the ceiling.
Demetria like leans over him, is like, you all right down there?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I mean, best as I can be. We're all pretty fucked up as appears.
Yeah, well, welcome to the family. And she's gonna nudge him with the toe of her boot, and I'm gonna drop 20 points of lay on hands.
How much?
20.
20.
because I have plenty left.
God bless. Thank you.
And then as Amnon's working to try to fix Dimitri, he's like,
Oh, wait, actually, I don't have that many. You get 10. I have used some of them. You get 10.
so Amnon's gonna be really annoyed as he's like, you could have just done that to yourself, and I could have gone fixed up him, you know.
Yeah, well, Demetra will lay on hands 5 for herself.
Then Amnon just get up, complain a little.
How does Amnon look?
Amnon pretty bad actually. He's like limping to each person and bleeding pretty bad. He's and so he's trying to like hide it in a way, so that way not to worry you guys. And he's really just I picture Tempe's like trying to pull away from Amnon, but he's grabbing his hand so that way he can just check to make sure he has no injuries and shit.
I'll give
Tempe's
Amnon.
suffering. He's suffering. Tempe's like messed up.
Demetra walks up to where.
Both.
Demetra walks up to where Amnon and Tempe are, where Amnon's fussing over Tempe, and she's gonna pull them into like a 2-handed, 1 in each arm hug and give each of you her half of her remaining hit points. So you get 7 each, 7 whopping hit points each.
Hey, actually, that's more than double of what I have now. So I'm not complaining. Yeah.
And that's all she wrote. Demetra goes back to staring at Fizban, vibrating silently in her armor.
Machina will walk up to Demetra and then poke her in a few different pressure points, and then I'll use Cure Wounds.
Yeah, nice to have you back, Machina.
I'll do that at 2nd level. That's 2d8. Fuck, where are my d8s?
This old man's beard is soft. And Snatchel's like over on top of.
Oh, wait, hey,
like
wait, watch
his,
that.
Like, whiskers.
No, don't. Those are no. Hey, she's like stuck standing there while Machina's like stabbing her with needles.
Needles? I said just poking.
Pressure points.
His robot fingers. He's robot
finger poking.
He has like little needles at the end of them, so he's like getting right in the pressure of the chakra points, you know.
Yep. That'll be 18 points of healing.
Thank you.
Right. Amnon's gonna kind of look up at Tempe and just squint a little bit, and then just like kind of like not nod, but like go like you know, but like silently.
Does anyone else require aid?
Thank you, Machina. Let me handle this one, and then I'm gonna just pinch Tempe's cheek, and I'll do a cure wounds.
I love all the different ways our characters do
Yeah,
any touch-related healing. Demetra is like, I'll smack him on the back. I'll give him a sharp kick to the ribs. Amnon's like, I'll pinch his cheek. Machina's like, pressure points.
Yeah. Well, Amnon kind of like does it in a brotherly kind of way, you know. So that's what he meant by it. But you get 14 more hit points.
Oh, nice.
So I'm pinching your cheek, but that little robot spider thing I have is fixing you up.
The little robot spider thing pinches his cheek.
I like it.
And then while you're doing that, Machina will approach Amnon from behind, do the same thing, just pressure points in his back.
Amnon is like, oh my god! Oh!
That'll
Hey!
be for 12 hit points.
I feel like I'm 40 again. Thank you, sir. How many hit points was that?
12.
Thank you.
Because again, 2nd level.
Hey, double digits. Nothing to shake a stick at.
Bow
And all
hears-
was a robot finger in your butt.
Was
No,
that 1,000 years of death?
What a deal.
He's saving that for Bo when he rolls over in his sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Amnon's gonna just like kind of walk over to where Bo is and just sit down against the wall and just lean back.
Bo
And
hears.
just point like this. Is that who I really think it is?
Also, who fucking knows at this point?
I agree.
What does he say?
higher.
Who is that? Who is that? What is Amnon referring to when he says, "Is that who I think?"
To Fizban, slipping on the
Oh,
couch.
got it. Yeah.
That's, I mean, Doc and Dimitri will come and sit next to Amnon and make sure to proper feet up on Bo.
Oh,
He's the real deal. Doc,
Are the
I
kids
swear.
in the same room with us?
No,
are
they're like
Okay.
upstairs and they're separate. They've gone like Lady Talon is like trying to like calm them. She's like taking them upstairs because like things got really scary with like the house shaking and everything. So you're all down in that same like side room off to the side, and they're all up. They're all like gone now.
Yeah, Doc. When I picked up this shield, I heard Bahamut's voice. Right, I felt his presence. It's like nothing I've ever felt. Well, Tiamat comes as a very negative close second, but I've never felt anything like that. And when he spoke, I knew that he's the real deal.
Huh. You know, next time we run into Kildren, we have to troll him with this information, I think.
That does not sound like something that a good, upstanding paladin would do.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, Araka won't mind.
Can I try? Because I know that, like, technically Kildren's just my parole officer and not, like, my guardian angel or anything. Can I try and give him, like, a quick little, like, just in case? I don't know if this has ever worked in the past, but do a quick little hail Kildren, to see if I can.
are you there, Kildren?
Yeah.
It's me, Dimitri.
Are you there, Kildren? Literally, are you there, Kildren?
Can I just have a
Not for
straight?
nothing.
Can I-
Not
a
for
straight-
nothing, but there was a countdown in Lex's box, and then when it got to 0, his camera turned off. That was really
What are you talking about? I've been here this whole time.
alarming.
Bo fell asleep.
Can I get a straight wisdom check from?
Great wisdom. Don't know how much of that I have.
Not from anyone here.
Hey,
Great
Pocket
wisdom.
has got that wisdom.
Wizzy. It's a -1. I rolled an 18, so 17. That's like the highest I've rolled in a long time. That's the
Yeah.
highest I've rolled in a hot second.
And so I
Good
think
double.
what ends up happening is you you've never done this before, so you don't know if you're doing anything right. But in
Hare,
the
hare,
process,
Kildren, hare.
she does kind of get into this kind of meditative state for a second, and she feels like if Kildren could speak to her, this should work. And in a weird way, she feels kind of attuned. Almost feels like maybe there's some kind of transmission out there, but nothing is coming back.
Parole officer, speed dial 1.
Demetria?
Mm.
Maybe we do not try and psychically communicate this right now.
The voice she does hear is Obaya, and for a minute she's thinking, and I contact Obaya, but she realizes it's a magical message coming through into her brain.
number.
As Obaya is like, "Are you all still out there, Demetria? Are you okay?"
Yeah,
And then
yeah, we're
within 6 seconds, then it goes out again, and it's like, "Tempe, are you there?" And one by one, she's like
counting down, like, who are the most likely to be alive? Who are the most likely to have survived, if anyone survived? Demetria's like, yeah, no, or she sends back, if it's the message spell, she'll send back. What do I have? 25 words?
25 words.
We're all safe.
At orphanage. met with
Landed
me.
at orphanage. City in the fucking sky. Please advise.
Castle in the sky.
Castle in the sky. Please advise.
She responds.
Thank you for worrying about Amnon.
Sending another message.
Amnon says hello, by the way. And boat too.
Extra powerful spell.
Thanks. My last word is the heart emoji.
What I think is funny about that is I love that like everybody takes it so like to the T, like that everybody has to like try to figure out what their 25
It's a
words
challenge.
Because
It's a
I think
challenge.
it's a great challenge because like I think the rules around it are just to keep you from waxing on and on. Like about like but everyone
Like no one, I've never seen a DM be like, "Dude, you're saying too much."
you're saying wait, it's like
Because everyone tries to hit that like
and you can
25 mark. Like it's a tweet,
and it's
right?
not a spell slot, it's a cantrip, right? So you can spam it, which means that like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It matters to me. It matters to me.
No, I just if it
It's
was a
also
spell
no.
slot, it
My
would be-
favorite,
Wait, hold
my
on,
favorite
hold
thing
on.
is that no one wants
Is
to
it?
lose
No.
the
Oh, it's a
extra
level
word,
spell.
even if your
Message-
message.
I think you're thinking of sending.
Oh,
Sending.
sending, yeah. No. It's a yeah. So the message just, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're doing this messaging right now, because
No, it's a cantrip.
Walking
Message
up
is a cantrip.
Message is a cantrip.
Cantrip.
We have to be within
Sending.
120 feet of
Oh.
the recipient. Sending is the one you can send.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Obaya, are you here?
so
Oh,
yeah, it
wow,
would
I
have
didn't
to,
realize that you
be
took. I
sending.
didn't realize that you're my PO now.
Yeah. No. No,
I'd be pissed. Somebody got upgraded ahead of you.
Okay, third level. Okay, so then. Okay, so then yeah, it's sending because she's not that close.
she's
What
just
she-
hiding by the bookcase.
What she does send back is, I never thought I'd see the day that Waterdeep would fall to dragons. We have rendezvoused with the Neverwinter forces outside the city walls. And then she sends one more message. You guys can respond to that one, but the other one that she does send for sure.
Just because
is-
I'm not really up on Obaya very much. Can I say that rather than fall to dragons, more like rose by dragons?
Is it Rose by Dragon?
Because it's
Yeah,
more
Rose
up than
by
Risen.
Dragon.
It was raised by dragons.
Yeah, I
by
like
dragons.
that. That's good.
It was raised
And
by
then-
dragons.
yeah.
And so she's
Just
like,
just really quick, slip that in before the next
Yeah.
sentence goes out.
so she's getting that back, like, okay, yeah.
She's
And I-
getting
takes it
notes.
as
She's getting
raised as in destroyed.
raised
Um,
in both men. They're raised and lifted up.
She
Raised
says
and
that the injured will be heading to Neverwinter, and along with her and Lady Silverhands, who plan to go speak to Lord Raynar.
Rainer.
Yeah, establishing that Raynar has taken his father's place.
Can I ask real quick where, or like on the next, maybe we'll say that my jokey it was raised thing is also included with the is Kildren. What's up with Kildren? Kildren and Araka, are they okay?
To Obaya?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me look at Obaya's spell slots, because now that this is a level spell, she's already
Well-
spent 2 of these.
Well, we'll say that was
She's-
my reaction or my response to the first message
okay.
that I jokingly
And then-
said actually more like raised. Let's say that
Right.
that was
So the thing is, though, but she can't respond. She sends this message. She sends the sending. You can respond to it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean she can respond back.
But her next
necessarily.
sending, because you're saying she's sending 3 sending spells. The first one to see if I was alive,
Yeah.
and then I replied to it, and then
Yeah.
she said, I never thought I would see the day that it was
Yeah.
raised by dragons, and then
So
I
in that
replied to
one-
that one, and then she does the third one.
So in the third one, along with that injured and heading, she says no signs of either of them.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it goes silent, and you don't get any other messages. A few minutes go by.
Machina will tell or does Demetra alert us that she's...
Yeah, Demetria is reporting.
Mhm.
Okay. For the response for the third message, or Machina will say, please respond to the third message saying future messaging will be difficult.
Machina says to tell you future messaging will be difficult. Anything
You
else?
know.
And then you just hear as a bunch of little silver flakes fill the air as I cast non-detection at 10-foot radius.
Well, I had 10 more words. Okay, fine.
I wasn't done, Bucky. Oh, God.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Stay easy. Okay, bye.
So, and I'll just like look at everybody like, what do we do now?
Thank
Within this 10 feet, we have 8 hours where divination cannot detect us.
Good.
Perfect. Just enough time to get some sleep.
Demetria grabs Fizban's couch and tugs it over into the non-detection circle.
I stood next to him when I did
Okay,
it
good.
because I feel like that's the main thing of trying to non-detect.
Yeah.
I'd say that Demetrius still does that just to cuddle with the couch.
Demetria will be doing her 8 hours of napping, sitting at the foot of the couch with her head resting back on the couch, getting a neck ache,
And so they
with her feet still propped up on both.
So it's very clear for the next few hours, and those few hours turn to longer hours, and as they rest, they will make a full 8 hours goes by. It is what time was it when this all happened? They got out.
8 hours is a short rest, right?
Long
No.
rest.
No,
Long
no,
rest,
no.
long rest, long rest.
Yeah.
Long rest, long rest, long rest.
Long rest.
All of us lunging for Sean through the screen there. No, 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 no.
My bad. Yeah. All right.
Well, maybe
It's time.
Tempe, maybe the immersion. Tempe's having such a bad day, he doesn't sleep well. Tempe gets a short rest. Everyone else gets a long rest. I can't believe that girl called you. I can't believe that lady called you.
Tempe's long rest is nightmare filled, so he's not feeling very good.
Tempe is having an anxiety spiral. He's just
Question.
answer.
Because in D&D, when you're asleep, you connect to the plane of dreams. Non-detection pretty much severs all sort of scrying and messaging and all that. Would you be able to dream while in non-detection?
I would think so. I just don't think they're magical dreams.
You're in the local server.
Yeah.
You're playing via land.
We all have a dream that we are friends in a strange futuristic world playing a game over a video messaging mirror.
Amnon's like, why am I bald?
Complaining about being bald. I'm not even red.
For a moment, the light comes, kind of pours through one of the windows, washes over all of your face, and that warmth wakes you up. You hear a bird like tweeting, like a little yellow bird, and it's sitting on Fizban's nose, and he's like,
Damn, read the room, bird.
and then he sits up and he like kind of swats at it, and he goes, "Oh, hey, little fellow," and then like lands kind of Disney style, like he's like talking to this bird in the room.
Oh God, my God's a Disney princess.
And as quickly as as Fizban's kind of like that light is kind of shining on him, it gets dark again. And when you look outside, there was just a moment where the black clouds opened up. It's like 6 in the morning, but it's still overcast and dark, and the sun is still blotted out around Waterdeep. And the light is still coming from that awful light beyond the clouds. That floating, palace is still there. You can tell that outside there are no guards, but you can hear like farther down the streets, like the wails and the murmurs of people who are dealing with having lost loved ones in like last whatever. Because you guys really haven't even been outside the orphanage, but from what you can see from outside, there is devastation all around you, and people dealing with it and tending to it how much ever they can. But Fizban is up and kind of yawns, and there's something kind of whimsical about the way he moves and the way he acts. And he goes, "Oh, how long was I out that time?"
Just the eight or so hours.
Oh,
Does that? I mean, besides like sleeping, because everyone sleeps. But what do you mean that time? Are you not? Is this?
Yes,
Are you okay?
yes. And so everyone is restored. You all have taken a long rest. And he says, "Yeah, it happens when I use my powers. The more I use them, the more I lose them. They're slowly draining from me. So the last time I had to do something like this, and that's pardon. That's also why I was kind of trying to rush to get us out of the city. I didn't want that to happen and then be dead weight under you all. I kind of had a little refuge I thought we might be able to get to, but as he looks like we're still in Waterdeep. That's fine. It's fine. So yes, it happens. He kind of looks around like, thirsty, could really use some tea. And but what are you all doing? Is Demetria kind of responding or asking further, questioning him, or he's just? What's everyone looking at me so
You're muted.
strangely for?
Demetria, on one hand, Demetria's like, shit, I should make tea, but she's gonna not. And she's gonna kind of approach him like, right, it's still kind of a shock that you're here and alive and man instead of a, dragon. Right?
Yes, that's the funny thing is, when you met me, you called me in. I know. I introduced myself with what I expected, what I knew you wanted to see, knowing that is who I am, but it is only part of who I am. So, Fizban is a part of Bahamut, and therefore Fizban is, in a way, Bahamut, but Bahamut is not necessarily Fizban, and so, pardon me not feeling like like a god today. More like an old man who knows some magic. It's a long story. It's a lot. We don't even really have time for, as he looks out the window, we don't have time for long stories, but I can tell you, I don't remember it, but I know it in my bones. I was defeated by my sister, and I fell. Maybe that's why my hip hurts so bad. I definitely fell from the heavens. But I now know, it took me some time walking the earth, but I know that there are others. There is Valthonis, a mortal elf, one of love and nature, wisdom and mortality. There is Fizban, the old mage. That's me. I love nature too. I'm kind of jolly. And then there is Fizban the monk, a warrior, a fighter. He's a lot younger than I. More like a little halfling fellow. And then there's the old sage, a very dark brown-skinned man with woolly hair. And then there's Lenore. Innocence. She is the innocence of Bahamut. She is also his righteous anger and his fury.
So, this splitting up of Bahamut, is that why your powers are waning because of being split like this? Is that going to happen to Lenore too? Because she's been doing some stuff with her Bahamut powers since she got here.
Yes. I think it's partially because we are disconnected. What I've come to understand about myself, or Big B as you call him, is myself when I'm myself. I typically only come to this plane in one of these forms at a time. Now I'm here in 5. The powers are spread, and I can feel it in me that this Takesis, she's drawing the power out of my other aspects. She's using them. This is why I can't get too close, because I'm the only one left. If she gets me, then she has all of my power. Can't risk it. It's why I sought you out, because I believe in you all. I believe you can finish the job and save them. You can save Lenore, the old mage, the monk, Valthonis. You can save Bahamut. And can I have a insight check from all of you.
16.
13.
That one.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Machina's
Machina just overall.
like, who's Lenore?
Machina's like, how can these? Machina's like, how all these people can be the same person and then like different people? Like he's like analytically like this doesn't make
No,
sense.
Machina's just in the corner and all the kids are like dressing him up.
Amnon got an 18.
Okay.
I got a 13.
Amnon, you look at, you know, you can watch Demetrius just eating up everything he's saying, and like there's a part of you that is like, it feels like when he got to the part about saving all of the others and then saving Bahamut, he seems to kind of cut himself short. He seems to not be sharing everything that he knows.
Amnon won't say that outright, but he will put his shoulder, his hand onto Demetrius' shoulder, and telepathically just send, I don't think that's everything. I think we should ask him more.
In order to save Bahamut, right, we have to get all 5 of you out of Tiamat's clutches. Do we return you to the plane of air, or is this like a Tiamat's got to go first kind of situation? Because with the amount of damage she's slinging out, I think trying to get as many of them away from her as possible might be what we can do at the moment.
Yes.
I'm trying to circuitously ask him whether we need to like fuse him and everyone together, and if Lenore can stay behind as the one person on this plane for us.
I'm going to be just and just give you the truth as he like walks towards the window and takes a little bird and says, you go on now. You fly away from the city. Don't you come back here now. Let's the little
Get out of here, you big stupid animal. He takes the bird and throws it.
There's dragons flying around, so he's like, tell the bird, go away, bird. Like,
he turns away from the camera, and we immediately in the background see the dragon just swallow the bird. Sorry, I crack jokes when I'm nervous.
It's literally what I thought, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to say it like as a DM say it, but so you said it for me.
It's the way that this show goes, you know. That's what we do.
And he says, and that does make sense to what he says next. He goes, well, I'll be just and honest with you. I know that you love this Lenore. Put it this way, if you expect to have long days with her on this plane, you plan, I imagine that in your thoughts, actually I know you've probably thought about what she is as she grows older. That can happen. She can live out her life to its full measure. But this world, as long as she is living, a human, maybe she'll 100, 120 years. For that time, which is nothing to a god, there will be no Bahamut. And there can be no insight. Go ahead.
10. Is he full of shit?
He seems to be absolutely telling the truth. So what he's saying is that if you want, basically, here's the thing. You get, this is what you infer, because I don't think he says it this way. And I don't know if I can say it eloquently. You get from that if you all want Bahamut's help in this fight against Tiamat, Eleanor has to go away. She has to be, you can call it a sacrifice, you can call it, she has to be absorbed, she has to go back to her source. And that means, if you don't, you're all alone. You got Fizban, you got a few others, but you don't have and this is why Demetra has not had her god talking to her, because in that big heaven above, there's no one on the throne. There's no one there to talk to. He's literally here on the same plane as you are. And you can get the feeling that Fizban has had this epiphany. The others may not know this, right? Fizban knows he's Bahamut in several parts. Maybe some of the others do. Maybe they don't. Lenore probably does it.
Demetria looks at Tempe.
Amnon's gonna look at both at Tempe and Demetra and just be like, she's not a little girl.
But does she think she's a little girl? Oh, my head hurts.
Well, I'm an old man. Look at me. I'm an old man. If you cut me, I'll bleed right now. I can actually go through what you all call death. I mean, are you really, once you pass on, I'm just energy here in this space, in this time, in this now with you, Amnon. No different than when you have gone anywhere, and when you die, you will go on and your energy will transform. You'll still be Amnon. So I would disagree with that. She is a little girl. But she's also part of the being, the God you all call. You have to remember this big B, the term even God, the mortals, you gave me that term. You gave me that, So we are Bahamut, but she's also Lenore. Especially while she's here. I'm sorry, I'm overcomplicating this. And then Lady Talon is in the kitchen. Goes, excuse me, could I bother you for some tea? And then, she's like, oh, yeah, not a problem. As they're, clinking pots are clanging around in the background. And
old people talking about old people things. They start talking about, gas prices, old people style.
Why is this our decision to make?
Because it's up to, if we decide if we think we need Bahamut's help to handle this.
Well, then what if we don't think it? What if we don't? What if we don't make the decision? What if it's not? What if we choose not to?
And then he peeks his head and he goes, because Big B, not me, chose you. That's why. Chose her. And then his friend Salune chose the other one of you who's not here, but he's still watching. And then he walks back.
Hey, wait, no, hold on. Okay, fuck.
Also, Lizard God chose that other creepy fuck, but he gone now.
Yeah, he's all on a beach somewhere sipping a daiquiri. God, I wish I was him.
As much as not making a decision sounds like a good idea, not making a decision is making a decision. And if we're going to be out here calling ourselves heroes, well, then the world's on our shoulders, and we have to carry that burden.
Lenore has to go. We need Bahamut back, or else that ain't going anywhere.
Also, who's to say if she re-merges with all the others that the essence of her is gone? I mean, she's the essence of Bahamut, right? I mean, who's to say when they reform, Bahamut won't have those memories, won't have,
I am no hero.
Maybe we could work towards something different. Maybe we survive this and we lock her up. Then we start a family the more traditional way by not adopting. You guys do your thing and I'll just be the uncle. That's pretty much gonna be the only way to do this.
You're like, go have a replacement, baby.
I don't think it works that way. I don't know if it's gonna work that way with this.
The kid is gonna be red all over.
Yeah,
just have your own kid.
I don't think that's how this is gonna work.
Additionally, with someone if she's as powerful as y'all are alluding to her being, she's gonna have a target on her back for the rest of her life.
Will be
I
alive.
wonder what Lenore wants.
Well, I guess you can ask her, but I also would say that you'd have to give her all the information she needs to make that choice.
If she really is a child, if she's not aware of what else is waiting for her, then she can't make that choice. We can't. What are we going to tell her? Would you believe someone if someone showed up to talk to you and you're, how old is she supposed to be? How old do we think she is?
She was like 9 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah, so she's still like, it was like 8 or 9. If I look at my notes, I should be able to.
If you were 9 years old, and someone came up to you and told you, oh, hey, by the way, you know, your death sure would solve a lot of problems for all of us. You actually have a lot of power because you're actually a god. Like, how well do you think that's going to go, Bo? How well do you think that's going to go, asking a 9-year-old to make that kind of decision?
I was fully functioning at one day.
Great for you, Machina. Proud
I
of you.
point to Machina.
Hey, no.
Do you all
You barely
think-
know him, no pointing.
He comes, Fizban's kind of come back sipping his tea. Oh, that's delicious. Thank you. The goat's milk is just proper. Thank you.
All right, Fizban.
Do you
Hold
all
on.
think you can do this? I mean, could you not?
I think that the
Heroes
problem
in
is
past time have put Tiamat in her place without Bahamut's help before.
they have, but Fizban, I'm an ex-con, right? I'm an ex-con who wasn't able to protect the last kid who was up in this situation with us. All right, we all just almost died. Like, I'm sure you were nice and unconscious for that, but we just almost died. We've been out here fighting hard, losing people, losing places. This was our home. And we haven't had anything, right? We've had each other and that's it. And so far we've been making a mess of it. And so my problem right now is that I love this kid. I don't want her to have to make this decision. But at the same time, if we're guessing wrong, if we're betting on us and we lose, it's not just us who lose. It's everyone else. We're not just gambling with our own lives here in this decision. We're gambling with everything. Everything. And I suddenly just felt very bad about raising my voice to you because
No, it's funny. It's like I keep, I went over this conversation as I walked up to the orphanage, knowing you were all here in that disguise. I kind of had the conversation with myself multiple times, like, you're Bahamut, you're Bahamut. But I know it, but it's funny, little things that you say, they bring back memories, and it's weird to remember things that you didn't remember before. And I that fire, that passion, the reason you just raise your voice in that way, I think it's why I gave you a pass, almost as though he's remembered that day you killed that paladin who served me.
Sounds to me that you're making your own problems, and you need other people to fix them.
I don't recall ever starting any issues or problems. I think that maybe. I don't know. I'm an old man, but I know that there's a part of me that remembers that you all are special. It's tough.
I don't know
all
what
around.
this guy is talking about, but there's nothing special about me.
If you say
After
so.
everything that we have been through, after all of what we have seen, is what we do, what we do now, is it going to make a better situation for any of us? Will we feel better about anything that we are doing? What resolution happens at this point?
Demetria turns to Tempe and she thinks for a second and she says, Temp, I mean, doing nothing, whether or not this situation resolves itself in a way that doesn't lead to that being death at the end of the day, but doing nothing after all this, after everything we've lost, everything we've given up, all the things I've done in my past, doing nothing isn't even on the table for me.
Is it gonna bring Ravi back?
No. Nothing that we do can bring Ravi back.
What are we gonna do other than, you know what? If this place is broken that we're in, maybe we deserve to be here to survive. Maybe it's not our job to fix it. Maybe we're not heroes. I don't feel like a hero. And Dimitri, you may be a hero. You are a hero in my eyes. And you are right, and you are just, even if you feel like you don't deserve it. But you don't need anyone else to tell you that. You don't need me to tell you that. Because until you believe it, it doesn't matter. And what we do next is not going to matter either if you can't live with yourself after it.
Amnon's just gonna sit next to Machina. Just
Machina will just say, hero, noun, a person who is admired or idolized for courage, outstanding achievement, or noble quality.
Machina.
Fizban point. Suddenly, Fizban looks up.
Buddy.
For a second, the old man looks up and he doesn't have that old senile look for a second. His eyes kind of have a little twinkle, a little glow. And he goes, that machine. A few days ago, he had no sentience. He wasn't walking around. He wasn't speaking. And you restored him, Amnon, did you not?
What? I had help.
You had help. You had help. And Lenore, when the people were going to kill her, the one that was Ravi, stepped in, did he not?
Yeah.
And Tempe, when I think of this Ravi that you said Ravi's dead, but what Ravi needed, we all die. It's about what we get out of this life before that day comes. Ravi needed family. And did you not provide him that? And so I wonder if you are all not stronger, as the definition of the machine says. If you are not, if you continue to doubt that you will be heroes, then you will not be. You won't be. Bahamut didn't make this world the way it is. He too is just another being existing within it. So, I think you should give yourselves a little bit more credit. Somewhere deep down in there, Tempe, you're drawn to Demetria's light because you have one growing inside you as well. Hers was quite dark when I chose her. Demetria, can I have in wisdom check or religion? with advantage.
With advantage. I do. I will take whichever side. Religion. Okay, the higher one is a religion, because it is a +0. So that is a 16.
16. And so Demetria, as he says this, he kind of walks over and puts his tea down, and looks at the shield, picks it up. Oh, it's ruined. Ding ding. He kind of taps it. Just metal, though. And then he has like this fine silver scarf, and it kind of glimmers a little bit when the light hits it right. And he seems to pluck something off of it and like touch and like kind of rub it onto the shield. And the shield lights up and bursts into like sparkly, shimmery, almost like glittery dust, and then falls to the ground. It's just gone. Demetria, pick up your shield.
Demetria kind of walks up to where the shield's been Thanos'd, and she kind of gives him an iffy look, maybe even like glances at Tempe, like, and she'll kind of mime, I guess, or start to mime, kneeling down to pick up.
Pick up your shield. Hold it and bring it to protect your body.
She left hand usually holds the mace, so right hand up, brings it around like she's holding the shield in front of her.
And the dust kind of whips off of the ground and forms the shield like up in front of her, but it's floating, and it's kind of like moving particles of metal that like lock together as your shield is now an animated shield. So still 2 plus shield, but while holding this shield, you can speak the command with a bonus action to cause it to animate. The shield leaps into the air and hovers in the space to protect you as if you were wielding it, leaving you hands free. So if Demetria was to go to two-handed weapon now, the shield would still be there. The shield remains animated for 1 minute until you use the bonus action to end the effect. I will just put it in the chat.
Ooh.
Tempe.
Gotta attune to it.
You just did.
Tempe
I
watches
could use
this
some shining.
and snarls magic and more trickery. He throws his drink into the fire and paces back away.
Demetria lowers her arm and, I imagine, shrinks the shield back up and kind of makes a gesture to Fizban, trying not to be too pleased, and goes over to talk to Tempe. She like puts a hand on his shoulder, like gripping him tight, and kind of pulls him to an alcove and like pins him with a look. And I imagine that Demetria has picked up, like, she wasn't as proficient as Ravi was, but she's picked up some sign. And so she signs to him, like, talk to me.
What are we doing here? Is this who we are? Excited by magic and trickery? What has that gotten us? Look at what we've lost. Every time we lose, we are enticed by more magic and more trickery. Is this who we are? Are we selling ourselves for shiny trinkets? For glowing items? Does that make us heroes?
As he's been talking, Demetria's expression gets more and more closed off. And then she looks at Tempe and she says, Shield was never just a magic trinket to me, Tempe. All my life, I thought that I wasn't worth the dirt under people's shoes. I did what anyone told me to do because I thought that made me important, special. When I first picked up that shield, I thought Bahamut was going to kill me. And instead, he let me carry it. I want to do good. I want to protect people. And if this shield is the tool that allows me to do it, then I'm going to take it. I don't think that makes me a hero, and I don't see that as me getting purchased. This is for everyone. Someone has to do something, Tempe. You think Ravi would want to leave if he was here? You think Ravi would want to give up on saving this city? You can blame yourself for as long as you want to. And God knows I've been blaming myself for a long time for what happened to him. But do you think he blames you? You say you're not a hero, Tempe. But when I met you, you were the first person, you and Ravi were the first people to ever look at me and see someone who was worth something. Whether that was a lie, whether that was the truth, I don't know and I don't care. All I know is that you and Ravi were my light in a really dark time. And it kills me to see your light going out right now.
You were a hero before you had that shield. And Robbie knew that. And so did I. I'm really happy for you. I really am.
Why does this feel like a goodbye, Tempe?
It's not a goodbye. But I can't buy into what they're selling us right now.
There's a lot that we don't know right now. There's a lot that I want to believe and a lot that I don't believe. I think right now, getting Lenore out of here should be step one. Whether we tell her.
And then what?
And then we do what we do best. We figure it out.
You know I trust you, right?
I know, and that's what's making this such a hard decision.
You know, I would never call in a favor to anybody. But there's going to come a time where I may ask you for something. And know that when I do, that it's the only time I've ever asked anyone for anything.
Whatever you need, it's yours when you need it.
I will hold you to that.
And I'm sorry that we couldn't have been friends in a easier time. I'm glad that...
Know that no matter what happens, you'll always be loved.
And Demetra pulls him into a hug.
And as they embrace, I think this is the beginning of the group's understanding of whatever they decide to do, wherever they go from here, whatever they're doing it for each other. They're not necessarily doing it for a god. They're not doing it for Fizban or for Bahamut, but for each other. And now they have to decide, what action will they take? How do they save Lenore? And then what do they do once they have her? Is this still a mission to stop Tiamat and wrangle her, drag her back to hell? Or is this just a rescue and for them to get a chance to get out of Dodge and run?
Porque no las dos.
We will take a 5-minute break here and pick back up. I think as we come back, it might be interesting to think about what is the plan of action, and to think
Get back
about
to our roots,
all-
guys. Let's plan a heist. Let's
Yeah.
heist. Let's heist it out.
And I'd also
Get
want to also
dressed up with our
make it
costumes.
very clear that when you look at the Waterdeep map, now Lenore's in the big tower, right, floating. We know that in the tower, few blocks north from that is also the Blackstaff Tower, which you believe Eldricon resides in, and it has the
That too.
Blackstaff and
That
has
too.
all of the power. That so pretty much because I'm just reminding of some things so you have them up to date from last game. Is we know that with the Black Staff, that's what allows dragons to fly. Waterdeep used to be protected; it had a ward over it. Now the dragons are living, flying across the cities. The Dragonales, you see them whipping about. As long as he has that staff, as long as he's controlling that keeps you all keeps everyone who's fighting this war at a disadvantage. If you're thinking just about Lenore, then it's the palace all the way. There's all the other places other friends. There's still your home. You haven't been back to your to House Spirits. You don't know if that's even still there. So just think about it holistically about all your options, and we'll pick back up and we'll plan. Yeah, we'll plan next steps.
Mhm. I will say, before you hit me with that floaty shield business, I was going to give that slightly fucked up shield to Tempe.
And before it magically worked, I was gonna attack Demetra to see if the shield would appear if she was attacked.
Hey.
Love it.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
Check all your stuff.
Oh, are you sending me messages?
Check your mailbox.
Oh,
Check
come
your
on.
mailbox. There's a fucking bird outside knocking on your window with his beak with a fucking paper message.
Bro, I check everything.
Carrier pigeons.
Sean is giving me the hardest time because I don't check the paper mailbox every day. 'Cause it's usually
There's a guy.
nothing.
There's a guy in a little union,
You know what? My
uniform,
family-
ready
my
to tap
family
dance and
makes
give you
fun
some
of me.
chocolates. He's dying out there, Malcolm.
You guys ever see fucking Blue's Clues? And there's like the mailbox.
Mailbox.
Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes
me wanna wag my
yeah,
tail. Here it
dude.
comes,
My
it
family
never
makes
fails.
fun of me because I hear the beat from the mailman, and I'm like,
You're like, so it never gets packed. Like when I went in there today, what is that? There was the 14th. You said that got here.
Excuses.
It was only like 8 pieces of mail in there.
today's the 28th, my dude. You ain't checking. It's the 14th is when it
Bro,
delivers.
you know that little button convert everything to like non-paper? I just
I
love
love
that.
it. I
Never
love
send
it.
Malcolm food. Never send Malcolm
yeah,
food.
just
Never
send me
send
chocolates and
Malcolm
stuff in the
food.
That
mail.
fruitcake,
Yeah.
that fruitcake I'm gonna send you for
Yeah.
Christmas is gonna be just
He won't get it
solid.
till February. It'll be Valentine's Day. He'll be
But that's what's funny is you giving me a hard time because you had me checking it every day, and it was like not coming. I said, man, forget this.
John's like,
Like,
dance,
this
dance
motherfucker ain't
for
sent
me.
me. He's like, this motherfucker ain't sent me.
Yeah, I'm
nothing.
thinking Sean is joking
Yeah.
with me. He's like,
He
hey
just
man, check
fucking
your
around.
mailbox. I got something coming for you. Like,
Oh well, by the way,
a
I
month
got
and
something
a half
coming for
of
you,
the-
Malcolm.
Oh
So
my
make sure
God.
you check your mailbox.
okay, I will be
See?
checking
See?
my
Check
mailbox,
your mailbox.
every day.
Every day.
I need a drink. This game
Go on
sucks.
Fiverr and
What is,
hire
what is
someone to
happening
check
with
it
this
for you.
game? Why did this game get so heavy out of nowhere,
Y'all
man?
got-
This game
Oh.
tonight.
It's heavy.
The
but
night that I'm
hopeful.
like,
I
oh,
like
I'm not
this.
gonna
No,
drink.
this was good. We're heroes. We're heroes. Let's get it.
Frick, hero.
Let's get it. Come on. Let's go.
Hoagie sandwich. I'm
We're
never
just
gonna-
people out here trying to do the right thing.
That's right.
We really
We're just out
are.
here
And
trying
I
to
feel
hustle.
sorry for all these poor fucks who are just citizens out here who don't realize what their tax money's going to. Like,
In all this time, I now see why you all get like hooked on shiny dice, pointy edge dice. I just got my first set.
Sharp dice.
and they're
Oh,
so-
yeah.
yeah, they're so cool.
Malcolm, you gotta get yourself a set of wooden dice. They truly feel like the
Really?
classiest, like
Really?
yeah.
you're like,
got it.
ew, plastic.
Honestly, I don't know the next time I'll buy a set of plastic dice.
How dare you? How could you?
I
How
think
could
these
you?
are
Listen,
resin.
these are just so pretty.
Yeah, one of my
I got-
buddies has an illegal set of dice.
Is it made out of ivory?
No. So at one time, I forget which company it was, but they used a very particular glitter inside their dice.
Mhm.
However, that glitter is used in the currency of Germany.
Oh,
Mm.
interesting.
So, and they had to bust a whole lot. And when they were busting counterfeiters, they saw that they were breaking down and melting these dice to extract the glitter for it.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
these dice are illegal in Germany and a lot of Europe.
Wow.
Oh,
Pretty crazy.
that's wild.
Like they're illegal to purchase and sell. Like if you already have one, you're good, but
That's interesting.
But so today's episode was very hard not being Robbie.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck, man?
Oh god, this is incredible.
Like I really need fucking Robbie right now. This is really fucking hard.
I thought of sending Malcolm some ideas personally, but I don't know what the party would think of that.
Oh, you sent me
Because
some
if I sent them to Malcolm would, huh?
Oh, you
said
sent
send them anyway?
Oh no! Oh, I didn't hear you. I thought you had said you sent me some ideas.
I text.
I was thinking about it, but it could be real fucked up.
I probably won't do it. I mean, I am. We'll see, but
I don't know. It's very tempting.
We all wake up and it was just a dream.
Tempe's on a razor's fucking edge right now. He's about to like
I'm lost in understanding where Tempe is right now. I get partially
Did you?
what he said, but part of me doesn't understand if I was like why he thinks he's being used by Bahamut. Because technically Bahamut's like dead. Like he's not even really Bahamut. So there's no one commanding them necessarily do anything. And Bahamut's the first person to tell them they want to keep Lenore alive. They can make that choice. They just have to understand there's a world with no Bahamut for a while.
I do have a question though. Not necessarily for the DM,
yeah.
but just in general. Because especially just the way that I view the world is if you have Bahamut and you don't have the counterpart, there's that imbalance, right?
Yes.
But if you get rid of Bahamut and you don't have Tiamat, you don't have Bahamut, that balance is kind of restored.
That's why when you kill Tiamat, she's banished back to hell, which is why Amnon's trying to put her back in her place, because even when they die, they come back eventually. And that's even what. So I think even what you're understanding, it may not be like, for example, when Lenore passed. If she was to say get old as an old woman and pass, we don't know when Bahamut would come back. It could be 100 years. It could be, but eventually he would reestablish himself.
We'll be dead by then. That won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's another
Unless you're a
100
dwarf
years?
or an elf or
Yeah, this is D&D world.
This is the group where everyone is literally human. Yeah. I mean, Machina will probably be around, like
Machina's it's just gonna be like 500 years in the future. Machina's just sitting at all your graves.
There's like a if they fail this, there's like a post-apocalyptic spin-off where Machina's just walking the wasteland.
It's all of us. Yeah, it's all of us playing war.
It's modern day fantasy.
Malcolm, I think your confusion comes from the fact that like Tempe doesn't.
He's an atheist.
Yeah, like he doesn't.
I see that.
This is not his thing. Like this is not, his spirituality is so different than what's happening right now. Like being drugged through hell broke him. Like he didn't know that shit even existed. You know what I mean? Like none of this, like the shit that he has encountered with this group of people, he did not know existed. Right?
But he survived hell.
He did, yeah, he did, but
not everyone.
Thing is like done with like he doesn't understand like why he's not a hero. He's a piece of shit human who has been outcast by his family.
He's a hero to Demetria. He's a hero to Robbie.
By everything he's ever known.
No, he's a hero. You don't get a say.
His own people. Think about how this session started off, right?
Right, but think about I'm gonna let you.
He's not in a mental, he believes even everything that he's done, right? Even his time with Ravi, all of this stuff that has transpired, like he has always believed what he was told by these women,
right?
By this matriarchy, right? He's not good enough. He is not special. He is not important. So the entire time he's been drugged around, the relationships that he's had have been important, right?
Right.
Ravi, Demetria, Lenore, Amnon, these guys, these people who are with him, right? But everything outside of that is foreign to him. Look at the cat. It's like Bahamut.
You made me fetch my cat.
He doesn't know if it's real or not. He doesn't know what to believe. He doesn't understand it.
But he knows Dimitri is real, right? He feels Dimitri.
He does. Right? He does. And that's why he's so torn in this moment, because he felt like she was a hero before all of this.
But she's clearly told him she wasn't. Now, did she ever tell him about?
He was like her opinion doesn't matter. I thought she was a hero.
But he felt saved by her.
And then Fizban just basically said she killed somebody. Right? She killed one of his own followers. You know what I'm saying? Cold-blooded. Like
a super dishonorable way too. She was asleep. She was injured.
And Tempe's killed hundreds of people as a mercenary.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so killing is not a big deal. So her killing some Bahamut person, he's probably killed Bahamut people. You know what I mean? Like there's this thing where he's very, very, very human.
Yeah.
And I think that we lose that sometimes inside D&D. We lose the humanity of like, what would an actual human be like in this situation, right? And Tempe is that human. Tempe is the person who was shit on by his family his whole life. Yeah. You know, he might have done good things, and these people around him might be doing good things. You know, it's kind of like, have you ever like? This is a
but
weird
that's where it comes down to what would Tempe be doing anyway? He would still be killing. He'd be doing some ruthless. He'd be using these same skills in a very different way.
And again,
what is he about to do? Go sit off in and kill people on a coast until Tiamat comes to him and tell all those. You know, that's his options now, right? Like,
you know what I mean? And that might
eventually they show up at his front door wherever he settles down.
What are the options though? Is killing this child?
Either way, he finds himself face down in the mud one day.
I don't think he can see himself killing this child.
Well, I mean, here's the question: is it?
But no one has.
Do we have to kill her? Do we have to like? Is this a thing where we have to kill her? Is it like
that's what Tempe's seeing because he's seeing the option?
I mean, like, what is the alternative?
It's kind of. I was thinking that right now, Demetria with the shield. On one hand, again, before I got this fancy new one that I'm definitely going to be keeping, I was wondering whether it being damaged would be a chance for me to leave the shield behind and switch to a different fighting style as like I need to let go of my attachments to this idea of what I have.
Because the shield, you no longer need to hold the shield.
I mean, like the physical one, like I was going to have her leave it behind in the room to leave. But so that's the thing where it's also like, I think Demetria is coming around to this idea now of losing Ravi being about like, you know, is it about me wanting him here? It's like Jedi attachment theory, right? Do I want him to be alive because I need him here? Because I want to feel happy? Or is it because I want him to be happy? Because if I want him to be happy, he's going to stay with Selûne, right? If I want me to be happy, I drag him away from that. With, you know, thinking about Lenore, does Tempe want to keep Lenore safe because that will make him feel like he is not this thing that all of his family have been telling him that he is a hero? Will this be the confirmation he needs? Or does he want her here because that's what's best for her? Because maybe, you know, if you think about like the cosmic Bahamut energy that he doesn't believe in anyway, so it's a moot point. But right, so it's like, is it better for Lenore?
I don't know.
Energy. Hello? Is it better for her to rejoin this cosmic energy and maybe come visit every once in a while, because you can have one avatar on the planet and he can just keep sending her kind of, you know, like.
You know what I think? I think it'll be interesting to see the interaction between Lenore and Tempe.
Yes, that's also the thing is we're all speculating because for all we know, Lenore is gonna stare into his eyes and say, "Send me home."
Malcolm has his.
Yeah, that's what I was always thinking.
Lenore, go home.
Malcolm has his work cut out for him, because I think that we got to figure out like what that interaction looks like, right? Because Tempe is going to base his reaction off of what hers is. I think, you know, Tempe is good. Tempe is good with Ravi staying dead, because he loves Ravi.
I also think you all need to understand something. Here's the thing. I need you guys to also understand. My ending of the story is not predicated on you doing either or. It is not about whether if you keep Lenore alive, there is an ending.
There's still a way. There's still a way where we can kill Tiamat.
Yeah, it's just doing it the hard way. you know,
We do that all the
as you
time on
do
our
it all
own
the
by
time.
our
So
choices.
It's always
prepare
the
for
hard
that.
way.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem.
Prepare
But I
for
mean,
that.
like, look, Tempe is okay because he knows he loves Robbie so much that it would be selfish of him to want Robbie to be brought back or want Robbie to come back. That's why he was upset with Demetria when Demetria was wanting to bring Robbie back, you know, because he, as hurtful and as painful as it is to him, he knows that Ravi is safe, Ravi is taken care of, and he knows that he can never take care of Ravi in that way. You know, he doesn't feel like he could do that, you know? So for him, that is it, you know? And I think that Tempe's battling with this feeling right now that, like, is he that useless that this child couldn't benefit from his protection? Is this child not worth his protection? You know what I mean? Like
Why is
problem.
providing protection the only thing that makes him worthy? Why is not providing friendship enough?
I mean, you gotta talk to that motherfucker about it. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
I just tried to. We just
like,
tried to. What if the real value in your personhood was the friends we made along the way?
You know what?
What's
Fuck
that,
it. Throw Robbie back in. Throw him in.
Robbie gotta come back. Ghost Robbie's gotta
Robbie
come
is
forth.
rattling the bars of his cage.
Let me out.
Yeah.
Robbie's so tired.
So Luna's like got him by the collar, like, nope, no, like trying to pull a dog away from sniffing something when she's walking.
So it's like, you're not allowed to go to the scrying pool anymore.
Also, I
We
said
scared
Malcolm,
Malcolm away.
the DM.
Malcolm is gone.
Yeah, Malcolm.
Darn.
Doing some
I
stuff.
need to tell him to check his messages.
We're all just like,
He'll do it in
Anthony
14
and-
days.
Yeah.
And when I think back, like, I don't think, did we ever, only Robbie saw how powerful Lenore was, right? We never did.
When she froze Rakalesh.
But
Yeah,
y'all haven't
never
seen
saw-
like the extent.
We
Yeah,
haven't
we haven't
seen
seen like
the
the
You didn't
heads
extent
see
of
of
it,
her
right?
kill 30 people in a single
Right, that's
like-
what I'm saying. So like, there's a lot of like unknowns, right? So like, look, Tempe can get there, and Lenore might float up in
Also-
the air and tell him some crazy shit.
Also,
He might be like, "Fuck it," right?
I don't think Robbie ever even told you guys what happened.
He never did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
You
what
Wow,
did-
Robbie, this is all your fault. Thanks.
Send me back
He
in, coach.
did
Put me
during
in.
the interrogation of Rakalesh.
Mm.
Did he?
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
then, I don't know if Demetria ever told anyone because Demetria was the only other one there.
No, Tempe was there.
Tempe,
Yeah.
I don't think. Was he?
Tempe was there.
We were all hanging out. Remember, you gave him some chicken. Amnon was there. Oh wait, Tempe maybe. No, Tempe was
I
watching.
don't-
You're right. Tempe wasn't there. Amnon
Yeah.
and Shakespeare were there.
Amnon was there.
Mm.
Yeah, Tempe was playing with Lenore on the upper
Oh yeah, see, you see, like there's
God
a
damn
lot-
it, we've been keeping Tempe too sheltered. We need
Tempe's
to-
got a lot of baggage, bro. He was hanging out babysitting this kid while you guys were telling the secrets and shit. He don't know, man. You know.
Malcolm, let me send him. Let me send him a vision.
You can't. Our ghosts are in non-magical dreamland.
That was only for
Remember?
8 hours. 8 hours is over.
And speaking of which, if we need to keep him hidden, pretty much what's going to happen next is you're going to hear the same sound, except for it's just going to be a bunch of silver powder just splashed directly on
Oh God, my
Fizban.
eyes.
We're gonna hide the old man.
We're
I
gonna
mean,
hide-
I feel like
we
it's
have
him
to
that
hide
needs
the
to
old
be
man.
non-detected.
It would be our luck for us to try and do
We'll be
this,
back.
and then the old man gets got while we're gone. You know, we need to hire a babysitter, and we're fresh out of NPCs, capable NPCs. So
Yeah.
we need to.
Hey, Machina is literally tuned right now as a small one-man army.
Excellent. Let's go. Once Ohan and Malcolm re-arrive.
Like, I don't think y'all understand the bullshittery I have achieved with a triple multi-class.
Triple multi-class. Good God. Malcolm, do you hear this?
I
Can
heard
you
some of
just
this.
keep
Yeah.
going
it's-
Bahamut by yourself and like
You know what?
let's
Did you read my Discord message to you?
Let me see.
It's small and simple, but
Actually,
I
I
feel like it'd be
can't-
entertaining.
My browser's not allowing me to open Discord right now. I don't know.
You don't have an
why.
app?
gotta close Pornhub first.
Oh, let me look. I don't do none of that on my anything that I work on. I do not.
I can't help it. You gotta forget. I can't help it. You know,
The game is for ages 12 and up. 12 and up. We're right there. We're right there.
No.
Comment down below if you were offended by that. Go fuck yourself. I don't know. Like,
So that's also something that they strike for every time you say Pornhub or you say anything like that. Yeah.
Well, now you've just said it
Strike
again.
And I said it again. So yeah, it goes
you
against
see,
you.
you're horrible, Malcolm. Stop it. Just bleep yourself.
What did I miss?
Oh boy.
Well, we learned something about Malcolm's browsing history.
No, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, is that a
Sorry,
Pokemon
Malcolm.
shirt you're wearing? What Pokemon is that?
Name those
Oh
Pokemon.
yeah.
OG
Remember
stars.
that? Name that Pokemon at the end of the episodes? Oh shit.
It's Pikachu.
I love that shit, man.
That's all I hear in my house.
Oh, your kids are big Pokemon fans?
They are, yeah.
Dude, my kid is fucking wild about Rebels. Like fucking wild about it right now, dude. It's crazy.
Wait, Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah.
I just finished it the other day. Finally.
Dude, I haven't finished it. I'm waiting for her to catch up now because she's like almost up to season 4.
I'm
like,
so excited for Ahsoka now. I'm like, yes.
Yo, because it's like season 5. I can't wait for live action Chopper.
I can't wait. I was so excited when I heard that.
I'm so hyped, man. Chopper's like my spirit animal.
Yeah, I like Chopper too.
And fucking Zeb, dude, man.
Yeah, he looks good too.
Dude, that live action Zeb and fucking in Mando was so dope. I hope
he looked great.
I really hope we get an Ahsoka, man.
I have like a little crush on the girl that they have as Sabine, so
A weird white Asian girl?
yeah.
Comment down below whether Sean is problematic.
Yeah, I'm fucking
Cancel Sean in the
Yeah,
Cancel
me in the
Sean.
comments, guys.
Hashtag
I'm
cancel
sorry.
Sean.
I mean, cause she's like half Asian, right? I can't tell.
I don't know.
I thought
She's
I just think she's
Mandalorian.
really pretty.
I don't know. I'm
Tempe, she's a
super ignorant.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, Tempe.
She's Mandalorian. Okay, they all are. All right. Fair enough.
They're humans.
I can't tell what she is in the thing. I feel like she would make a good Sabine. You know, I don't know.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Thrawn is
gonna be dope.
I've been reading. I just finished.
You talk shit about blue people, right? Because they don't exist in real life, so I can't get canceled for talking shit about blue.
My cousin's blue, so excuse
Oh,
me.
damn it, man. Terrible.
Wow, Sean. Wow.
During
Blue
people month. During blue person
history month.
I know. Damn, that's the first one this tonight. That's
well, Malcolm hasn't come for me at all, so I can't say
I know,
anything.
yeah, Malcolm.
Bo's been napping.
Malcolm, I'm really proud of you, Malcolm. He's been doing his thing with his therapist. He's not been attacking anybody during this game. It's fantastic. Really
Malcolm's
proud
gonna
of
kill us.
I'm really
Malcolm, we love you, Malcolm. We're sorry we're hard to deal with.
Oh,
I'm trying.
Malcolm's writing our names in the death note.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing just off screen.
I did hear you talking about bringing Ravi back. I mean, Demetria does have the ability to, and she.
Now I'm saving that for Sagat. I'm saving that for Sagat now.
Aw.
Dang.
I'm saving that for. So the order of operations is, if Tempe or Amnon die, they're getting it. If neither of them die, Sagat's getting it. If I die early, then it dies with me. So that's the current.
Brings Sagat back. Tempe stabs her. like a little stab though.
A little stab is what
stab.
killed Daenerys Targaryen. Don't you remember? A little stab was all it took for a powerful woman.
He gently stabs her.
Tippy's
Crying,
over being Anakin.
tears in his eyes.
He's over here like being super evil. Like,
You were my sister.
Yeah.
You were my sister, Demetria. I loved you.
Malcolm, I just sent you one more message because I just had an inspiration.
Oh no.
I guess a sudden inspiration.
Classic.
I did not pour myself a big enough drink for this right here, for sure.
You can get another one.
I probably will.
I shouldn't. I've already had.
I've only offended blue people,
Mandalorians.
semi-Asian people.
Asians.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure some Armenians you've
Me
offended.
when I hopped on the call He told me it was a black thing.
Malcolm's
that I don't-
offended
that
now.
I
Look at
don't-
Malcolm.
It's
Malcolm's
a
super
black thing
sensitive
somehow
now.
that I don't go to my mailbox.
Hey, it ain't my fault.
I've
You don't
heard a
check your
lot
mail
of
except
prejudice.
once a
I've
month.
never heard that one.
Oh God, what did I miss by not being
That's a
so
real
early?
one.
As soon as
That's
that's
a
all
real
done.
one,
As
too.
soon as Sean hopped on and asked
He goes,
Malcolm
"That's a
about
black
it,
thing."
Yeah,
That's
he's
a
like,
black. I
wow.
was like, "Whoa, bro."
Hey,
And
I
I
can
was like,
say
I'm
that because I
afraid.
didn't check my mail for 6 months one time, and I was made fun of because of it. So I get it. We're adults now,
man.
Malcolm. You have to check our mail all the
I
time.
played it off,
Comment
but I
down
was
below
like,
whether
I
you
am
check how often you
offended.
check.
Yeah, comment down below how often you check your
Yeah.
real mail. You're in real, not your email.
Next
you're
to
in
you with
real
your
life
race. Let's see.
We're getting canceled.
We're gonna get canceled so many ways.
Oh,
We're gonna get canceled
God.
so
Create
many ways.
This whole
50 fake
episode can't get
accounts.
aired. You can't post this episode, Malcolm.
The lost episode.
The last
Yeah.
episode.
This is some of my
Let's
best
create-
work. No, just whale noise over porpoise noise over.
Oh, yeah.
Just pretend that the audio in this section got copyrighted, and so
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it'll be silent.
Play some Metallica, add some Metallica
Yes.
over the parts that you don't want to.
I'll create 50 fake accounts and say they're all from India.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this has been interesting so far. So let's try to
Interesting discussions.
So there's a lot going on.
I'll level up.
We know that Tempe is in this very volatile state as we are back. Everyone's experienced this, right? So even, I think Bo is seeing this, Mocking is seeing it, Amnon's seeing this moment that's happened between Demetria and Tempe.
And because Bo doesn't know him very well, he thinks this is just how Tempe is. He's like,
Yeah,
I've never
he's
known
like-
him to be any
No,
different.
asshole.
Yeah, Bo's like, geez.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean,
Yeah.
Tempe seems to be on the edge here, about all of this. And I think that, it shows it's okay for Tempe to be where he's at, to feel where he's at, but it also exposes that if Tempe is on this edge, I think for whatever decision you all make, you all need to be on one accord. As we sit there, I imagine it's just kind of quiet for a second, like no one's talking, even Fizban. And I wonder who breaks the silence. And again, where we
Machina.
go from here.
Machina breaks the silence by walking up to Fizban and be like, "You must remain hidden," and then except for only he is covered in this silvery dust.
Looks like a Christmas tree covered in tinsel.
Oh, Christmas fizz, oh, Christmas fizz. We'll never ban you, Christmas fizz.
Lady Taylin comes down and she says, I can't help but overhear. I'm not trying to eavesdrop, but I don't know if you've all been outside, but with the state of the city, I need to get these kids out of here, and I do have a connection with a captain with a small vessel in the dock ward, and I know you have so much on your plate, and I feel really bad just even asking, but just let me ask it, and you can happily say no. I understand. There's so much. You all are wearing a heavy burden, I can clearly tell. But I'd like to sneak these children to Neverwinter. I'd like to get them to the docks. And I don't have much to give, but I'm wondering if you'd help me. I'll give you a moment to think about it. And she goes, and I'm just getting them together.
Demetria looks at everyone and is, I don't think there's a moment needed. We'll do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Machina will be like, "Tempe, you do not feel like you're a hero. Be a hero for these children."
That'd be smart.
Demetria points at, hey.
Also, now you get to point to him.
Yeah, it's because I fucking know him.
I feel like we've known
Day
like
one-
about the
day
same
one,
amount of time.
Day one, me and this guy. Watch
And then Machina is just going up to each of the kids just based on the definition of hero and just like, "Please remember Tempe."
Giving them $5.
She's
Remember
like, get them
this
together.
shaking their hands.
They're like,
Tempe's
cool.
super embarrassed. He's just
What do you
like,
call this guy? It's like a walking suit of armor.
Does Tempe blush?
And then
What
a
does
little
Tempe
girl's like,
blush?
why are
Tempe
you
blushes
so-
for sure. He
Why are
definitely
you so
blushes.
rusty?
You can't just ask somebody why they're rusty.
Little kids are assholes, man. They really are. Fuck. Comment down below if you hate kids.
Don't get me started, dude. Don't get me started. I can go
Not
on
during
forever.
Kids History Month. Damn it.
Not during Kids History Month.
Oh, God.
This month, every kid
Kids
ever.
History Month.
It's history.
Jeez, I feel like every
The
day.
history of kids.
I mean, hey, they are our past.
They are.
They are our
Yes.
They are our
present. They are
past.
our future.
They are our future. God bless.
It's
All right,
like-
that's good night,
Hashtag
everyone.
The kids are our future.
Shout out to them damn kids.
Damn
We're
kids.
gonna do our best, lady.
This is what happens when I provide no direction for an episode. It's just like-
I think we're doing pretty well.
no, I
No,
think you guys are
this
doing
one-
great. I actually think it's doing really good. It's been.
You
it's been-
provide no direction for an episode. What we do is we have intense character RP
It's
broken
great.
up by us discussing character motivations above table for 20 minutes, followed by us
offending a
dragging
bunch
each
of
other
people.
for no reason. And then just saying yes to whatever the hell comes next.
It's probably one of the most captivating episodes to go back and rewatch. Probably will be. So we'll see. Yeah.
Anyone here draw too much attention?
So if you were to
So we
look-
gotta like pick them up under our arms and shit. Like how do
Yeah,
we
how
do
many kids are there?
There's about
What are we
25
working with? What's the
there's about
scope here?
25
How many
throw them in a
kids.
sack?
ranging
25
between
kids.
ages of like 5 to there's a few kids that
So-
are older, like 16. There's only a few like smaller kids, like the 5-year-olds, but they're all like
Yeah.
around Lenore's age, most of them, because they can do chores and stuff around the house. They're net, and so they've got some of the older kids that are like maybe 15, 16 that can kind of help wrangle them, that are kind of helping Lady Talon. And you essentially, if you're looking on Legend Keeper, you need to get them from the orphanage to the Miss Shore, which is down in the southern ward, near the southern ward, between the southern ward and the docks. That is. Can I have an insight check as Lady Talon is telling you about where she wants to take them? From everyone.
18.
13.
Oh shit! Wait, what are we rolling?
Insight.
Then
Or
Can I-
I should have said his insight. Just keep it. Let's keep it as is.
17.
18.
History is also an 18.
if that's history, that'd be a 20.
That's just that'll be a 15.
It actually makes sense
Three or
for
14.
actually makes sense for a 20 for Machina. Did somebody get higher than 20?
It's only 20 if it's a history. If it's insight,
Okay.
then it's only.
I'm gonna
12.
I'm gonna like bump it to. I'm gonna take 20. I mean, it's what is it if it's not? What if it's not?
12.
If it's a 12.
If it's
So then it would
insight,
be-
it's 12. If it's history, it's 20.
and then Bo would have got an 18. So
Yeah.
Bo, I think when Bo speaks it, Machina would be like, oh yeah, because this lady took care of him. But Bo knows of Grinda Garloth, who is the old woman who she has worked with a lot of like Xanathar's guild before. So she is now, Bo knows she's tied to like, the freedom fight. And she has that contraption that is like that almost like a submarine with like legs and claws that she uses to scour the bay. Many like Demetria would have been there to see that thing. Machina was there when she was like keeping him when he was like all in disrepair, and Tempe would see, and Amnon would all remember this lady's location. But she could be a contact, and she could be. I'm just saying that basically between Bo and Machina, they remember her name, reminding everyone who she is, and knowing that she has this contraption that not only can get them out of the harbor, it couldn't fit all the kids, but if the party wants to move around, if she's still there, that contraption can move around the harbor and around the Sword Coast undetected, essentially, by anything above water. Take with that information what you will, or role play with it what you will. But she's also in Miss Shore.
She has an underwater vessel.
Well,
Should-
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to agree.
Should we traverse the sewers as far as we can go?
I mean, yeah, now that it sounds like Xanathar's been elsewhere. Probably the
There.
safest they've ever been.
Probably gross down there, but I guess.
Could be rough for the.
I did not smell a thing down there.
Can robots?
For the kids. Oh no, I'm gonna have to make sure they don't touch anything. They're about half of them are bound to get sewer plague.
Oh, I have an
okay.
idea. Hold on. I'm gonna look. Is there like a rug anywhere?
Yeah.
Kids, come over here. Just come right
Yeah,
over here.
yeah.
Assemble them.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to pick up as many of them. I'm gonna try to wrap as many of them in that bag and throw them over my shoulder.
I knew it. You're gonna.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you doing?
So he's got like two. Somebody's got like two kids, and there's like a feet sticking out of one side. It's like a kid sticking out the other going.
I thought you were about to levitate that shit. I thought you had something clever in your back
The
pocket.
kid on the one side
That's
of the
pretty
back is like,
clever.
this is fun, but there's like two. The kid in the middle can't breathe. It's like, ah. The other kid's like, you can poke some holes in it. Okay, no,
Alright, so-
Fuck kids.
Bo, no, please. I don't know if that.
How far is how many blocks is it down until we get to where you need to go?
Bo, give me a charisma check.
Oh, no.
Just a straight charisma.
Boo.
Fuck 9.
Oh,
I was seeing if your action inspired something from anyone in the room. So everybody's just like, no, I don't know about that. So back to what Dimitri.
All right, listen. If y'all don't have anything better, then
I mean, I'm thinking I have something that's probably better than suffocating a kid, but stop me if you think it's a little out of the way, Bo. If we can't go through the sewers because of the kids possibly getting sick, I would be able to cure. Hold on. Let me remind myself whether I can actually do that really quick.
5 lay on hands.
Yeah, 5 lay on hands. So I can actually cure diseases, but only 13 times.
Okay, it's a lot.
how many kids we got? How many kids
It's a
we
lot
got?
of kids. 25.
Oh shit! Yeah. fuck.
So, you know.
They probably won't
Can't let
all
the
get. They
rest of
probably
them
all
die,
won't get
right? That's
sick.
like
Well,
half,
also-
isn't it?
Also, my question is, right, if we're traveling not in the sewers, how far away, especially just getting, because we're not in the floating bay right now, right? We're
No.
not.
No,
floating.
you're
Okay.
like you're on the ground.
we're pretty close to the.
You're really close though. There are these huge chunks of pieces of like sections of like blocks of the city that are like floating around this like the center.
Yeah, so
They
if,
could almost be. They almost like they could be platformed, but they're not really. You'd have to like.
because
you could
we've
get up there.
got this one, and she points at Bo, who can once a day, I'm told.
I don't know why I'm being so salty about that. It's my ability.
It's my ability.
It's my body.
He can take on the appearance of a dragon guard. We can get some disguises. We can try and be as inconspicuous as possible, just moving by daylight. I don't imagine they're going to want anyone to leave the city right now. So probably shifting to the sewers once we're closer will at least cut down on the risk of disease than going the entire way underground. So we go overground to like right until we're in the docks area, and then in order to get through any patrols that are stopping people from leaving the city, that's when we go underground. And then if anyone gets sick, hopefully it's not more than 12.
A more dangerous plan could be some of us could go and distract and cause a ruckus somewhere.
Hey, Machina, sounds like that could be plan B. Let's try and plan to stick together, because once the kids and Lady Talon, and respectfully, which group would you prefer to go with to Fizban? Like, it doesn't sound like it's a good plan for you to stay in the city.
Yes, I will. I think it's best I go with them. I can accompany you all there. I will probably stay with them and leave on the ship to get outside of the city, though I will try not to go far. At that point, when you all change your plan or decide if you are going to the palace, might I recommend, since I had an idea, since Bo is able to, since you may be thinking about taking a guard's position.
Once a day.
If you are, you might be able to secure a dragonelle or two, maybe three. Those are, and then the dragonelles are these smaller. They're like wyverns, but small dragons that there are riders flying around the city. One way to get you up to the palace, or you could go on foot, maybe using flight to take yourself to each section of the city at a time. But just a thought. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's definitely go and take care of them. And so as you all are kind of getting together and talking about going in the day, and as you like step out into the streets for the first time,
Disguising. We're disguising. We're
disguised.
All cloaks.
Yep.
Trying to
How
look.
do you all disguise Machina? Because Machina's not going to disguise himself.
We
He
put
doesn't.
you in a little butler uniform, and that you have no sentience. That's what we do.
He's in like a little maid outfit.
Yeah, that's fine.
We put you on a dolly, as if we're wheeling a suit of armor. Can we source a dolly? Is that available? Do they have a
I mean,
dolly?
from a
Can I
distance.
have an investigation check from Demetria?
Come on, big money, big dolly. Investigation 13.
Nice.
Hold on, Amnon can create any tool within an hour. That's a tool.
You want to create? You can create the dolly befee they leave. I'll
Machina
add
looks
with
like
Demetria is that you also find like a wheel, a push or a pull, like a cart to it's actually a small enough cart to where it looks like a donkey was leading it, but the donkey's gone. So but you could pull it, but you do have one of those, maybe to fit a few small kids in, or to cover people up in. Or
yeah, put the
That's the
smaller
donkey.
kids in the cart, cover them up, have Amnon make a dolly so that we can wheel Machina as if he's like a suit of armor we're taking to market. And the code word for hop out and start killing folk is pancakes. Remember.
Amnon's gonna walk up
Fizban
to
randomly is gonna be like, I like pancakes.
he would. However, if you remember, Machina just looks like a normal dude in a suit of armor. It's only when you get close that things look weird.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Yeah, he
So
might
he's
be
just
right.
got some cloaks on him then, or some covers and blankets and things like that.
Did something bad happen to the donkey?
They had to eat him.
You see a dragon off in the distance
That's
with a
bad.
donkey like hanging out of its mouth.
No, the
Yeah.
donkey and the
That's
bird.
the
That
thing. Shout
does
out,
the
comment
big
down
friend
below
there.
if you want to know what happened to the donkey. The donkey story. We're excited.
Hashtag where's the donkey?
Malcolm will be
Hashtag-
obligated to turn it into a plot point for next session.
there is
It turns out that the donkey is the avatar of some other god that we need to deal with later.
The donkey was Eldracano.
Yeah, all along.
Polymorph.
He was watching us.
Amnon's gonna walk up to Demetria and be like, did I say something? Do you think we can use a distraction?
I think the plan is that if we start to get questioned a little too strenuously, that's when we might need to set up a distraction, which we all know to matter.
I can summon a helping friend to start a distraction for us, and we can just book it.
That sounds like keep that in your back pocket, because depending on how well we're able to pass some of these checkpoints, we might need it.
All right. Well, just say waffles, and my buddy's coming to help.
Got it.
And Machina will
I
travel.
miss the House of Spirits. We haven't eaten well in weeks.
Yes, we're hungry.
Machina will travel like a good 20 feet away from the group. That way, if a distraction is needed, he will like firebolt the guard from a distance and then run away. That way, they'll get chased.
I miss
With
Rob.
that away.
Or you're just like, hey, this thing has been following our group for too long, and then before they can roll an insight, then he attacked them.
Really use a breakfast burrito right about now. Shout out to Robbie. Rest in peace.
Demetria goes up to Bonus like, there are kids here, man, and takes a cigarette and bleeds it.
Listen, they're in the apocalypse. You think a cigarette's really the worst thing for them?
You think that the cigarette's gonna help?
A cigarette is full of carcinogenics that will accelerate cancerous growth in the lungs.
Yeah, we
Look
get
at me
magic.
pointing at him. Look at me pointing at him, being
Listen,
correct, huh?
Listen, here's the thing. This world is magic.
As there's like
No, it's-
ash and there's ash in the air and smoke from like the dilapidated, devastated streets. And
Literally,
there's
from the countless fires that have
yeah,
sprung up throughout.
so they're literally standing in like hell, right? Like in this crumbled structures, broken cobblestone, twisted remnants of all these like buildings, market stalls empty. There's as they walk through the streets, they do see that there is not a heavy force of. They go like 2 or 3 blocks, kind of moving slowly, trying to be inconspicuous, and they don't see any dragon soldiers.
Insight check. What's up with that?
Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
Okay.
No fucking body.
So at least in these few bus, they're
Quiet. Too
seems
quiet.
to be very clear. It does seem to be quiet, but it almost seems to be like they're not here because this area is so devastated. Because you guys are walking along that path where very close to where, like the ground, it was uprooted, but it also, I imagine as pieces flew up, pieces broke down. Some people were like swallowed into sinkholes while others were like lifted into the air and killed and crushed by rocks as they smashed into each other. The survivors seem to kind of move like zombies through like the area, like in a state of shock and horror. You can hear their faces are kind of weary and sorrowful. Small groups you hear clutching their children tightly inside of homes, and their eyes are just kind of very distant, some resilience, some despair in them, and it's just devastation. And that dust just kind of hangs in the air, creating this very vapid, dark atmosphere where you can hear those kind of cries from the wounded. So this is not a nice place to be in. Doesn't feel good, but there's this comfort that the children know they're with you all, and so this kind of keeps them from like breaking down. And Lady Taylin and some of the others constantly being like, face forward, just keep walking. This is where I'll need my first group check. This will be a group survival check. So that out of 5 of you, basically 3 of you need to succeed. For this to be a success, at least 3 people need to make so a survival from everyone, and the DC is 16.
So I got an 8.
That's not good. I got a 15.
Hey, I got a 2.
Oh fuck.
Jameson.
I'm so glad we got a long rest.
21.
Curse of the 8s. The curse of the 8s. I'm telling you.
19
21.
plus 2.
Nice.
Oh, two of us? That's not good.
So literally, as you're walking through the streets,
Someone roll for Lady Talon. What did Fizban roll?
No need to roll for her. Yeah, suddenly like the one of the streets kind of buckles and begins to crack, and all of you are like panicking as like you're trying to keep kids from like falling into as another piece of the ground is like crumbling away and collapsing, kind of furthering that divot or that part of the crater that leads to mostly broken rubble that probably would be under there somewhere under an under mountain. And as you're able to save the kids, maybe some of it's straining your muscles, maybe it's some of like rocks flying up and hitting your face or like sliding across dirt. The kids are. Let me make a roll here.
Malcolm's like rolling for how many kids we lose.
Damn it, man.
Our points, whether we get the gold or silver medal for this level, depends on how many kids make it to the finish line.
I gotta go, you guys. I can't finish this session. We can't lose no more fucking kids, bro. I mean,
Losing kids, the campaign.
If you pass the check, you will take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and if you failed, you will take 11 points of bludgeoning damage from the ordeal. Tempe, you're standing there as everybody's helping everyone, and like one of the little girls is like her leg is like pinned under a rock, and she's crying out. She needs somebody to help her lift that rock.
I'm gonna go help her. Fuck yeah.
That was just glares
and
at her.
rush forward.
Tippy's like,
Suddenly, down at the end of the block, you hear the marching of draconian soldiers as you need to get that. Can I have an athletics check from Tempe, who's trying to help? And I need to know what everyone else is doing as the soldiers are coming.
I'm trying to get, if the cart like overturned, I'm trying to get as many kids covered up as possible.
Okay.
16.
I'm gonna go into my dragon. What are they called?
Dragon soldier. Oh,
Dragon
if there's like
soldier.
an alleyway nearby, I'll probably even usher a couple of the older kids to take some of the younger kids and go hide in an alley nearby.
Okay, so you can try to go for the stealth check, which would be to kind of get off the streets and usher into the alley. Maybe you can even try to. Maybe what I'm hearing is you might even try to do both, or you can try to maybe go. What I'm hearing from Bo is to like act like he's leading these groups somewhere by turning into a guard. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna cast.
Tippy, your athletics check was
Strider.
successful, so you aren't holding anybody back. You were able to free that little girl and get her out, and it looks like for the most part, it looks like it didn't break her bone. Like it was just a pin. Like she's not. Like she's hurt, but she's okay. She's a little frazzled and scared as you pick her up one arm and like look, kind of see them coming out of the mist, and they don't seem to have noticed you. They're kind of like rounding the bend. You guys have about 30 seconds to decide how you.
In preparation, I cast Long Strider on myself.
We'll stick with it's watching Bo transform. I'll stick with Bo's thing where we're just nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. We've had a little incident, but we're ready to get moving.
I'm just gonna start trying to lead you guys away.
Yeah,
Do
in an
we have
obedient
to
line.
hide though? Like, are they gonna think we're suspicious?
Because we're like all cloaked up. We're all cloaked up.
So wait, what are we trying to do? We're trying to
look like we're following Bo, like he's leading.
And he looks
somewhere.
like he looks like a draconian.
Yeah.
soldier.
And I'm gonna pretend to like kind of prod at someone and like get them to start moving.
And Makina's
Trying to
gonna
slump
walk
and look
kind of
old.
towards those enemies, and then kind of walk adjacent to the direction the group is going.
So Machina is making it look like he's separate from the group.
Yes.
Okay. So they're starting to round the bend. Machina is going to give me. This is going to be another group check. I'm taking persuasion from advantage persuasion from Bo. I'm taking either I'll choose either persuasion or performance from Machina. I'm taking survival from Tempe, survival from Amnon, from what I'm hearing, and survival from Demetria, unless you said
I can't do like deception because I'm pretending to be frail and following Bo's instructions.
Oh, okay. I'll take. Okay, then if they're all
I
taking,
rolled a 26.
I'll take that.
Sorry.
And if I also take stealth if that's easier for the other two, for Amnon, from basically what I'm hearing. So you rolled a 26, you said, Tempe?
Yeah.
Okay.
17 deception.
Okay.
Ooh, I forgot this.
Deception 17. Okay. So Tempe, you got Tempe. I can tell you Tempe has succeeded so far. I'm not going to tell you whether this is see what I'm wait to hear from
And I
everyone.
rolled a 23, a dirty 23 for deception.
Okay.
Then I got a
Yay.
16.
16.
And that's a 16 performance from Machina.
16. So 16, 16, 17 from Demetria. Okay. As they're walking, one of the guards kind of stops and looks and goes, "You, there. Where are you taking them?"
I was told to bring them.
You're heading towards Where are you headed? This is not where the prisoner camps are being. They're back that way.
They're having me send them down towards the warehouses. They're setting up some new prisoner camps down from the southern ward area.
I haven't heard anything about this. Any others? And he kind of stops a couple of the other, as they all kind of stopping the entire group. And Mocking, at this point, you're crossing paths with them. Do you continue to walk? What do you're because now they've stopped Bo and the rest of the group. And
so this guy who's talking, he seems like the leader.
Yes.
It's
kind of in that chaos armor, big horns on his, big pelt.
I'm going to cast Calm Emotions on him, and it's actually an area of effect spell. So it's a 60-foot. It's a 20-foot spear.
Okay.
So how many soldiers can I get in it?
You can get almost all of them in there.
Okay, they all need to do a charisma saving throw, DC 16, and the effect that I'm going to choose would be to make the target indifferent about creatures of your choice, and the creatures would be us. So I'm going to try and make them indifferent to us. Really aiming for main guy here.
All right. And so, wait, sorry. What's the effect? Tell me the effect one more time.
So it says, alternatively, you can make a target indifferent about creatures of your choice that it is hostile towards. Okay. Indifferent sense that the target is attacked or harmed. So I'm using it as a utility spell. It's not really.
Yeah. You seem. They suddenly all seem to he kind of goes from being really intense to kind of shrugging. It's a lot of people to be taken with just one of you. And some of these folks look kind of big. Why don't we... You know what? Rest of you all go. You.
Listen,
we'll just go with you. We'll just go with you. It's fine.
It's not necessary. You think I can't handle a couple of, some kids and the...
You got to make sure these little rats, they move, they run into the corners, they might scurry into the sewers. I'll go with you. And the reason this is what I'm saying is, Dimitri, I'm going to count you're as a full success, what you've done. But so far, you guys did fail that second round of the skill check. So, kind of failing forward here. There are 5 guys that are not willing to budge, but they're just like, hey, we're on the team.
The left-hand motto, failing forward.
Yeah, we're like, we're all good, right? Like, what's the big deal? Yeah, and just like, you actually look kind of familiar. I think we might have played a game of bone dice.
I think you ghosted me, actually. Make it awkward for him. Pretend that he doesn't remember you guys hooking up.
Yeah, maybe, too much, maybe. I don't know. You were saying something, Jameson?
I was going to say, does anyone make a signal towards Machina?
Yeah, because he's standing now outside.
For now, how many guys are staying with us and how many are leaving?
The leader and 5 others. So there's 6 of them.
Okay.
I mean, these are guys you could probably take in your sleep. These are like the regular soldiers, that because you were killing some of these guys basically a day ago, down below and these guys were dying they're regular.
God, because I think that's too many guys for sleep. Can I upcast sleep? I can cast up, so additional 2d8.
I mean, if I'm standing right next to a group of them, I can.
No, we're trying to be chill. Aww. Actually, yeah. Can it be the signal for you to distract them and not the signal for you to kill them?
Yeah, the signal to distract them is just start sprinting in a direction, because that's suspicious as hell. It doesn't harm anyone.
Okay. We should get away from the people who he sent on, because if he's splitting his party, he's sending some guys on. We should wait until we're out of sight of the people he just sent ahead of them, and then we can make Machina run. We can make that symbol.
So how are you liking the new the new state of the world? I'm hearing if we do things, I've already been told by my superior, if we keep it up at this rate, we'll all be able to use that fancy palace as a fortress. So we float from place to place, diving down, destroying them wherever they hide. Kind of
It's
taps
gonna be
Bo.
glorious.
Glorious, right?
Amnon is going to
Glorious
telepathically
cuts.
send a message to Demetria and Tempe and Bo going, I can summon my friend.
Demetrius gonna make a wait gesture.
And Amnon's going to growl because he's just anxious and wants to do something.
Remember, the distraction is that suspicious guy has been following us. He's not a part of this group. And now that the guards are invested in guarding y'all, they'd be more likely to chase after Machina now.
Once we're out of,
Right,
once
but
we
we
got,
want
when you
to.
say that we're out of sight of the,
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just-
not. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
I'm explaining.
And so as they are, walking, they kind of the road gets a bit more quiet and I need a. Timpy, Sean, are you there? If not, okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Amnon, give me a regular D20 roll.
God.
What do you need from me?
rocks fall.
I asked. I need to. So actually, you give me. I'll give you advantage. You give me a straight 20, and what do you get? What do you get? Is the number? No
I
mods.
got 20.
Wow, a straight 20 during Pride Month.
15.
And I got a 20.
Okay, I didn't mean that.
Malcolm,
I had to get one in. I had to get one in. It's like we haven't really played during Pride Month. We need to get one in.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Malcolm was afraid.
There was no need for that. That was very, very aggressive. But,
Listen,
but I rolled a 20. I mean, I rolled one of them.
okay,
So-
you rolled a nat 20 then.
Tiamat shows up.
So that counts.
Kildren shows up.
Bored. Tiamat.
The Lune shows up.
Well, with Jameson was literally narrating ahead of me, but the leader is clearly starting to notice there's a figure behind them that's kind of trailing, and looks to Bo and he goes, "You see this guy to my 6? This I feel like we're being followed. I mean, what's the one guy gonna do? But he's kind of noisy, so he's clearly wearing armor."
All right. I'll lead the prisoners down this way if you want to handle that.
We could just take them together.
It's definitely a possibility.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't want any of the prisoners to have issue.
But also give them a chance to escape. We don't want that.
Yeah, let me handle this. He turns and goes, "Hey, you! Where are you headed? You seem to be following a little close."
I'm going to cast Ashland's Stride and then run away. So as I'm running away, there's just a trail of fire.
I needed advantage persuasion from Machina. I need persuasion from. This is the third round of. I need a persuasion from Bo. And I just need stealth from everyone else, making sure they're not exposing anything or kind of slipping up.
There's no way I could help Bo, right? There's no way I could do the help action with Bo. Is there?
You can do the help action, but you would technically be giving up your role to give him the help action to put. So you'll be giving up your role to try to go to ensure he gets a success, because that'll be advantage on his success and advantage on Machina's success, which could give you're going for 2 advantages instead of you rolling.
I got an 18.
I'll do it. I'll give him help.
I rolled a
All
19 minus 1. That's 18.
At the risk of bringing in another god to this, Melora, please help me.
We need another.
Yeah, we
God
can
damn you, Lex.
13. One of them was a net 1.
Well, I'm glad that it wasn't. Then I'm glad that I did what I did, because that would have been sad. It would have been he sneezes and his armor drops off.
I sneeze and like the illusion.
It like goes away in a poof and then just snaps back to you really quickly. Crazy. Stop this.
Oh, that's weird. There's some strange magic going on here.
Whoa, wait, he's running. Hey, guards, stop that guy. He's definitely a spy. And they, so as they kind of, some of them are starting to break into it. I need the rest of, so mocking it, what'd you get?
I got a 18.
18, okay. Tempe? Oh, you were muted.
I also got an 18 for stealth.
Okay. Bo?
I got 13.
Okay. And Amna? 13 with advantage?
With advantage.
Okay.
This guy.
Don't look at me like that.
I got a 15.
15, okay.
Bo can just feel Demetria's eyes burning holes in his back.
So, for a second, as the guy's like, get this guy, there's a moment where, right before that happens, where the guy kind of looks at Bo a little, like, sideways, and then, Amnon, maybe you do something, you might, like, tell Bo to kind of maybe, like, rough you up, or to, like, no, because you're on their team, but to, like, you basically need to step up or do something that saves the situation in the moment, or you tell or you able to share something with Bo that helps him save the situation. What might that be? Because it is a success, but you're the one that's kind of getting it over the top. Or is there a spell or a cantrip or something he might do? You know, you can be creative with it, but
that Bo can do?
That you can do, because you're.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will. I'm gonna summon an aberration.
Okay. So something like right around where Mocking is running, and that.
So basically, I can cast it 90 feet away.
Okay.
And it takes the time of just one action.
Yep.
And so I would do it as far away as possible, but coming at us in the direction that Maki is running away from us, right? So they pass each other.
Okay.
Yeah. But I want to summon them so they're back to back, so Maki doesn't get thrown off by it.
Yeah, but it's gonna get damaged by Machina.
If it's not, it can fly over them, right? Why would it be damaged?
Because I cast Ashland Stride, so
Well,
I'm leaving a trail of fire.
It doesn't have to be in the path that you're running.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the path. That's what I'm thinking.
I want it to be in the fire path.
So they're like, oh, yes, he's using magic. And then he goes, you know what? You're right. This is an easy job. There's battle to be had. You just take them and make sure they get there. And he just goes running off.
Oh, just so I could be a little more detailed, I am summoning a slod.
A slod. Okay, so it's kind of like Lanky, like a giant frog, right? Lizard, chameleon-looking thing that stands on two legs that he sees running down that alley. So they all take off after it. And as they do, you all look off, and through like the alley, the next crooked alley ahead of you, maybe almost 300 feet, you can see the docks, and you can hear a little ding, ding. You hear like the dock bell ringing, and all of this is happening in the probably like middle of the day, but it's still gray, it's still like super overcast, embers, really really dark skies. So it might as well be kind of night and very oppressive as you kind of start to book it down. I imagine. Oh, is this would be the moment? Sorry, you can see the docks. Maybe I imagine like Waterdeep's not all like one level, so it's a little bit farther than 300 feet. But you can kind of see the houses stacked on top of each other and see where the docks are. This is where I would say, do you convert to the plan to going in the sewers, or do you stick with it on foot here? Now that you have like Bo kind of leading.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry. Do you?
Sorry.
Demetria had literally said when we got close to the docks, we would go into the sewers. Are we going into the sewers? Are we going to abort that plan and stay above ground? Maki is being chased away, right? And in this next skill check, Maki, I'm going to need you to give me some kind of like because I imagine you're going to try to evade them because you're going to be so fast. So get away from them.
Yeah, because I'm going to leave. If I do the entire spell of Ashland Stride's duration, there'll be a 700-foot length of fire.
Okay, so then you're gonna like. The thing is, they can follow the fire.
Yep, that's the point.
Yep. So then they're not coming back. It's just a matter of once you lose them, are you gonna try to meet back to the docks, or are you gonna then work your way back to the docks?
I'm sure we were all going to reconvene at the House of Spirits, unless we were going to agree at a different meeting spot.
There was a meeting spot?
I think our plan was to get out of the docks.
At the
That's
docks.
Yeah,
a, no, I like that
gonna
plan.
escape
Let's meet back
docks.
at the House of Spirits. That's a good idea.
I was like, damn, how are we going to get Machina back?
Honestly,
I'm thinking...
I love how these planning
up,
sessions-
It's great.
You
But
see how
maybe
when
we
you
should
watch
focus
the
on
movie-
right now when we're being potentially trailed.
You see how when you watch the movies and then you're like, they planned this all wrong. You see how easy this is? There's like little things that you guys leave out, like where the rendezvous is, where we like. So as soon as you split up, you're like, oh shit, this is all.
Machina can get it back, don't worry.
But you're not the only ones. Everybody does it. I think
Yeah,
it's kind of
so-
funny. But
Amnon is going to actually summon Axel to go into his regular form, but invisible. Follow Machina, because I can communicate with him as I please, and we can set up a meeting point then. So he's going up high to avoid the whole thing and just to follow Machina, so that way he can that we can stay in communication with him.
okay, so
Okay, so-
staying above ground. Then
Yeah.
last question. Okay,
We're going down or staying up?
We've had pretty good luck with staying up so far.
Let's keep going then.
okay.
Hustle time.
You guys are moving, hustling. You're starting to like kind of pick up the speed. There's no one around you. It's very quiet. Can I have one more advantage stealth check? This is for everyone at advantage. Not for Machina. Yeah, for Machina as well, because he's gonna lose them, but he's also gonna stay stealthy enough to work his way back. Because what is the little imp has still got to catch up with him and tell him where to go, but you're kind of moving. You will still have to like kind of converge back with the group. So stealth check from everyone.
17.
13.
They also got 13.
All right.
Yes.
Tempe,
19.
19, 17, 19. Tempe, what'd you get?
16.
Whew. Okay, Tempe saved it. With their
Hero.
they were so-
Hero.
Yeah, y'all. I mean, Tempe. So the three that. And so, as you're like walking to the docks, as you come out, you see the ship right there. Lady Talon is like under her hood, like through her, like she's wrapped. Her face is kind of covered. She goes, "Kids, be quiet." And the kids start to get really scared because they all start. They start to breathe hard, and you hear this. And when you look up, the couple of houses above, like the shingles are shifting off, and there's a dragonelle, like a big red dragon, and there's the rider is just kind of surveying, not even looking at you all, but the kids are starting, and then it looks down and it notices the kids, and then it looks and notices Bo, and then it just looks away, but it's just sitting there, like as you guys have to like walk by it to get to the ship. And if you've never seen a dragonelle, what they kind of look like are smaller, like almost like griffin-sized dragon riders. These things, and you can kind of see them wheeling above the city. Often, like how Waterdeep in there. Oh, when the place was pristine, you would see the griffin riders flying around. Now Tiamat has replaced them with her dragonelles that you see here. But one of those is just perched like almost like a strange, evil, lizard bird with its rider.
Above table, what is their exact like creature size classification?
I want to say they're
so cute.
large because they're bigger than they're not like a rimling. They would be the size of like a griffin, so that would be large. Because they'd be large, they'd be huge. They're large.
Okay, how far away from
They
it?
might be huge, but I'm gonna say large for now, because I haven't seen a miniature of them yet without me pulling up the stats.
How far away is it from us right now?
He's 2 stories up to your right on one of the house roofs, so like 40 feet at most from you.
Okay.
But the rider's looking another way, and the dragon is looking down on you all.
And we're probably not allowed to be. I'm assuming that we're not allowed to be leaving the city. This has been an assumption we're working on.
It gets distracted picking some donkey leg out of its teeth.
But it's just it's doing what they do, right? They're just being watchful. But the dragon seems to be kind of sniffing the air, not necessarily sniffing you all, but sniffing air, looking in your general direction. But it's close for comfort.
Demetria makes a gesture that everyone should kind of proceed. Because how far away is the ship now?
Now you're about 200 feet.
Okay, she's gonna make a gesture that. Because I could do something, but I don't want to screw it up. Can I insight check the dragon now?
That's the story of my life. That's my autobiography right
Give
there.
me an
bro.
insight check. What are you looking for from this insight?
I don't know.
check?
Does he look like he doesn't like us? Is he just is it neutral surveillance?
It looks like at the drop of a hat, if you was to know something was wrong with you, it would alert its rider right now. Give me an insight check. I'll tell you if I tell you anything else.
What's Strider look like?
I don't want to screw it up.
Two. Does it hate us?
Is the rider like a rabbit person?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Well, because we know she'll fucking kill us if this is her job.
Yeah, there's no escape if she's there.
Yeah, if she's there, we're all
Found us. She found Machina, you know?
She's too good at her job. She's too good with that bow.
God damn it.
So what do you? So you guys are starting to kind of stall for a minute, and it's starting to kind of look in your direction a little bit more because you guys are all
See that?
standing
Can I just with the tail end of my glaive just kind of push someone just to try to get them to start walking?
So you kind of tap.
Yeah, we'll go
Lady
towards the back.
Talon,
We'll go
and she kind of looks back. She what are you doing? But then she quickly goes into survival mode, plays into I'm sorry, sir. No, absolutely, sir. Come, kids. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. And they start to shuffle forward, walking.
I'm gonna hold an action. Can I do that? Can I hold an action so that if a triggering event goes off? Because if the Dragonelle makes a move towards us, I'm going to, as soon as it's within 30 feet, I'm going to cast Resilient Sphere on it. I'm gonna hamster it. Because it says I can do a large creature. So if it is just large,
and
I can hamster it.
It puts it in like a what is it like a
an
sphere?
impenetrable sphere that it cannot break out of. We can also cannot break into it, but it cannot break out of it. Magic and energy cannot pass through it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sphere of similar force, large size, nothing, not physical objects, energy, or other spell effects can pass through the barrier in or out, though a creature in the sphere can breathe there. The sphere is immune to all damage, and a creature or object inside can't be damaged by attacks or effects. The sphere is weightless and just large enough to contain the creature or object inside. It can use its action to push against the sphere's walls and thus roll the sphere at up to half the creature's
Oh
speed.
my gosh.
Similarly, the globe can be picked up and moved by other creatures. So basically, I just want to hamster this thing in case we need to sprint to the ship. So if it is making a move violently towards us, as soon as it's within 30 feet, hamster ball.
I need a survival check from everyone.
This one's for Big B, guys. This one's for Little B. This is for Lenore. This is for Little B.
Level checks.
Wow, new guy hates Little B.
Got a 9.
Can my snake give me advantage?
I got a 17.
17.
I
12.
got a 12. Damn.
I got a 10.
Oh.
Guys, you're gonna make me hamster ball this thing.
I don't know how Machina score affects y'all, but he got a 12. Somehow Machina stepped on a cricket and it reverberated to somehow alert this thing.
Actually, yeah, sorry, Machina, yours won't count against the group. Yeah.
I scored lower than that, so it would be.
So what I will do is allow Machina to provide an inspirations for one of you to make a reroll. But I don't know whoever wants to make the reroll. If you need to, I haven't heard Amnon. What Amnon got.
I mean, if
I got a 9.
If Axel's chilling with Machina, it makes sense for Amnon to do the reroll.
So we're on 3 fails to 1 success.
Oh, yeah.
If I can get one of you to go to a success, that will give us a tie. which I do have conditions for, but right now you
Hands together.
So for Machina's inspiration for Amnon, Machina's little Eldritch Cannon is going to dance the same way that Amnon's does.
Nice.
Give me.
And there's gonna be an
more
Eldritch Cannon
survival.
dance routine.
A dance game.
This also wasn't a high check. It's just a lot of you rolled low.
Well, that's what we do. That's what we do here in the left hand.
I rolled another 9.
Oh
No.
I'm so sorry, guys.
That dance was
Okay.
horrible.
I did not get those pheromones.
Simon Cowell hitting the X button.
Next time we're in a place where we can take dance lessons, Amnon is 1,000% taking dance lessons.
Yeah.
So are you saying we need a big distraction?
Yes.
And so suddenly that Dragonelle is like sniffing the air, sniffing, and then just like something's not right. And it's kind of like starts to crawl across the rooftop, getting closer, now starting to like really look at you all. And even the rider's like, hey, like kind of calm down. They're like looking, and then the rider starts to look and lean, and the Dragonelle kind of reaches its head back like it's going to roar. Demetria, you can tell it is. I don't think these things can. It's not like blowing fire, but it's about to let out like a.
Wait, hold. Wait, hold. Let me read this. Okay. Okay. I changed my mind. I don't want to hamster ball it. As I see it start to roll, I'm actually going to upcast sleep on it, because that is also an area effect, so it should get the Dragonelle and its rider.
Okay.
So I'm going to upcast, because let me get some d8s. So it's how many d8s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm upcasting it to, it's an additional 2d8 for each slot. So I'll do it for the kids, I'll do it at the 4th level. Let me fetch some more d8s. One moment, please.
Will the imp whisper pancakes?
Alright, so that's another level up. 1, 2, another level up. Okay. D8s. Here we go. Please hold for the math portion of today's episode. So that's a 10, 20, 30, 40, 47, 49 points.
So as the creature is about to like let out a bellow, it shudders because someone, the rider goes and collapses on its back, so it rears its neck around like what are you doing? As the rider goes slack, and then because they have like their what do you call it, the harness and the saddle, and the saddle goes slack, and the guy falls off and tumbles off, and the dragon goes and it like kind of like barks out like a raptor as he falls and slams against the ground, completely out. And then as it looks at you all ready to attack, its claws go out. Suddenly someone runs beneath it and rakes a smooth slash right across its throat, and blood begins to kind of like cascade off the rooftop down over the side as the thing starts to clutch at its throat and writhe around, rolling off the rooftop and crashing down. As that happens, the figure slides and stands, and again, for the second time, you see the Harlequin-looking character, the Underlord of Waterdeep, looking down, and he just kind of points like to the kind of like for you all to continue to go for the ship.
Mitra matches the gesture, like thanking him, and picks up like the nearest kid and starts running.
I want
You
you
guys
to
sound like a mysterious stranger from Fallout. He just shows up, kills shit, lives.
I want you to describe for me as you get there. Lady Talon is talking to us. She goes, "Yes." He goes, "Hurry, hurry! I almost left you." And as they get on the ship, he too has like he pulls like when he's on the ship when he looks around, he pulls off his like disguise that he has and he hails you down. He's wearing like a draconian soldier garb, and kind of like describe for me maybe like so right now you guys are just getting everybody situated on and this is like a small sailboat. It's enough for everyone to be on it. It's not a big galleon, but he's like the captain is just kind of a bigger bronze skinned fellow with a kind of a slash across his lip, and he's like, I paid some people off. We've got like a 30-minute window if we get out of these waters right now.
Divine sense him real quick. Sense good and evil.
You sense good. As that's
Okay.
happening, Machina is running, along the docks as the ship is
Meep, meep.
beginning to leave.
Well, we're not going on the ship with them. We're staying in the city.
Oh yeah, you guys are staying in the city. So yeah, they're loading onto the ship. So ship's not moving. They're loading onto the ship as you guys are all getting them on, and Machina is showing back up. Is there any other ways that you're like describing for the scene how you're helping, or after once you get them situated, is anything maybe that you all saying to each other, or just giving you how are you feeling right now, or where they're at?
Machina's escape plan would have been turning invisible. So
that works then, because he clearly with his survival he gets back. So then he would have turned invisible. So all that's happened.
Mitria turns to Fizban and sort of gives him a nod and just says, "Keep them safe, yeah? And yourself, too."
I will. We'll be okay. I'm sure we'll see each other again. Whether I look like this or like someone else. Don't think too hard on that. And whatever happens, you take care of Lenore.
I will. And she'll give him her hand for a handshake.
He shakes it. She's in good hands.
I know.
She's got good family.
I know you're not you're one part of the whole, but I don't think I've said yet. Thanks for believing in me.
You just kind of believed in me first. It's usually the way it works with this God stuff.
Yeah, run of the mill. Anyways.
But you go get them. I'm proud of you. You're worthy. And they begin to sail off. And can I have a perception? Who's got the highest passive perception in the group?
Not me.
Probably Machina.
16.
Yeah, Amnon's at 17.
17.
9. How do you guys have such high passive perception?
So Machina and Amnon happen to glance back at the stranger standing on the roof, and they're there, and the mask that like strange kind of Harlequin mask is off, and it's Elric standing there. Which kind of gives a wave.
Amnon's gonna use prestignation as far as much as he can use to just set up this, just to like set off just a little light, like a yellow light, a very yellow light.
Yeah. And before Amnon or Machina can as they can get everyone else to kind of turn to look, he's kind of Batman. He's just gone. He just kind of mask goes back on. He disappears beneath the rooftops. And so they're standing there, just on the docks now and looking off and can see it's less devastated over here, but kind of towards the center of town. It's going back towards that chaos, and they can see the statue. I mean the palace floating there in that darkness. But here on the edges of the Sword Coast, there's like as the kind of like the storm clouds kind of open. There's a little bit of sun, like right out there beyond the horizon that they can kind of get a glimpse of. Any final shares from them? From any of them?
So Machina drops his invisibility, inches away from Tempe to like behind him. But like, do you feel like a hero now?
Kind of like looks back over his shoulder a little bit. He's just like, it's gonna take more than this for me to feel like a hero.
At least you can feel.
Aww.
Ooh.
Tempe, can I have an insight check from you at advantage?
I just want to add that when right after Makina uninvisibled himself, Amnon is doing the whole same thing that he does with everybody else. Make sure he's not injured. Make sure he's
I got it.
and
Dirty 20 with advantage.
And I don't want to take anything away from you, Amnon. Did you want to continue?
No, that was it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted that little detail that because that's it.
The Amnon triage.
Yeah, just gotta keep the theme going with Amnon. That's just kind of his thing,
He does a great job too. It's fantastic.
Someone's got to
do. Tempe, for a moment there, you think about Demetria kind of slamming against the wall and like kind of putting it all on the table with you. And you think back to it for a second, and it feels like it takes you back to that day again. But this time, instead of the priest's voice in your ear, and this may not change anything, this may not change where he thinks, where his mind is framed, but right now, these memories are recalled, and he can just hear Quoth telling him, whatever happens, I thank you for teaching me, for being my mentor. And for that second, Tempe's also met with the understanding that Quoth went on to learn the Catan because of him. And he remembers Quoth say, you were a highly, to really put himself out there to the priest to tell them Tempe was a highly skilled warrior, a dedicated mentor, and that Quoth was willing to protect you by putting it on him. And I think himself, and I think in that moment, Tempe realizes there's some people around him right now who are very similar. Regardless of when things go his way or not. And he can take for that what he wills. But as they're all standing on the dock, for a moment there, it's the same, Tempe standing the same way he was on the roof, even though his friends are surrounding him. But now, sort of looking out at like the darkness, he's kind of looking at that sun, and he can also see them all within his frame. As we fade to black and end tonight's session. Good game.
That was a
Good game.